All right.
Hey everyone, welcome to another stream with Michael and Mandy. I'm Mandy, also known as the Board Gaming Pinup Girl, although not very pinup-y tonight. Oh, got the volume. Okay, we fixed it.
Yes.
So I'm Mandy, Board Gaming Pinup Girl, but not so pinup-y tonight.
And I'm Michael, also known as Pollum, and I can't even describe Pollum, so maybe I am, maybe I'm not.
So tonight we are taking a look at Hero Realms, but specifically the campaign deck, The Ruin of Thandar, which is published by White Wizard Games and was designed by Darwin Castle and Robert Doherty.
Yes. Yeah, we've had fun with the base decks, and we've now played the campaign a bit, and enjoying this as well.
So so we will. I should start off by saying, before we jump right into the game, let's start with a few things. You can find me, also a member of the Dice Tower, do the podcast every 2 weeks with Suzanne Sheldon. So that's another place that you can find me on the Dice Tower. And Michael is, well, doing the Teach and Plays.
Yes. So yeah, we had a slight scheduling conflict tonight because
Right.
of a last-minute live stream from the three other guys on Dice Tower.
Yeah.
So we're just streaming Twitch tonight, but then this will get posted to Dice Tower tomorrow.
Right. And then this will be back to, well, we'll talk about it at the end with next week, but we'll be back to regular scheduling on the Dice Tower, starting next week.
Yes.
So without further ado, we will jump right in.
All right, so yes, Hero Realms. Normally in the base game, I'm going to cover just the base game really quickly so you know what we're building off of. Base game is a player versus player game if anybody has played Star Realms. It's along the same lines, but fantasy based. So in base game, you would have a starting deck of 10 cards, and each character would have the same. So in the case of the starting deck for Hero Realms, you would have 7 gold. That's your currency in the game. And then 3 other cards. You would have a ruby, a short sword, and a dagger. And those last 2 would be your combat in the game. So each player would be playing from the same deck, or the same build of a deck. And player versus player, as I was saying. But there are also, I don't need those anymore, character packs that you can play with that adds to the game. So if you play with character packs, here's 2 of them, and these are the ones that we're going to be using tonight, Cleric and Wizard. They come with class-specific cards. So I'm going to be playing the Cleric for this. And again, you can play these player versus player, but now you're going to have unique cards. So in the case of the Cleric, as an example, I would have 6 starting gold. Then I would have 2 followers, which serve as champions that would be in my play area. I'll cover what those do when we get to the gameplay. I would have prayer beads that can be gold or healing, or both if I have 2 champions in play. We'll get into that in greater detail. And I would have a spiked mace. So these would be my starting cards, my starting 10 cards, but I would also have 2 ability cards. So for the Cleric, I would have Bless and Resurrect. That's what you would get in the character packs. So that's the example of the Cleric. However, we're playing the campaign. We're playing the Ruin of Thandar campaign, where you're going to actually modify your character decks just a little bit. So to play the campaign, you do need to have the character packs to play them. You have to play one of those unique characters, and there are 5 character packs that you can get. We're going to be playing the Wizard and the Cleric. I'm counting on Mandy to do all the damage dealing for this campaign, and I'm going to try and keep her alive as long as possible. But when you play with the campaign, you're going to be adding in, or swapping out, I should say, the ability cards. So I have my Bless and Resurrect cards here from the campaign-specific box. These replace, and you use the side that actually says at the top, in this case, Cleric Campaign Ability and Cleric Campaign Skill. So it says that right underneath the names of the abilities and skills. And the reason you're swapping these ones in is because as you progress through the campaign, you can actually level these up. You're going to, if you're doing well, get some points that you can put into your abilities to make them stronger, increase your health points. But we'll get into all of the different bonuses if and when we win a if and when we win a quest.
We will win. And
All right.
I'm going to interrupt just for quickly to say, amazing. We have so many fun people in the chat.
Excellent.
One, Halden, Ziggy Bobinator.
Nice.
Probably missing someone else in there. Thank you so much for joining. These are our
Thank you.
regulars. So
Yes, thank you very
yay,
much.
Thank you.
All right, so the regular Resurrect and Bless cards that come with the character pack, I'm going to be setting those aside because I'm using the campaign-specific ones. I'll get into what they do in a bit. So you have your character pack, the campaign cards. Then you're going to be setting up, let's see here, I've got my personal deck, inventory. The ability and skill cards go into what's called your inventory. These are cards that will either be one-time use or you could use once per turn, but you will also potentially get cards that you can have in your inventory. For example, there are elixirs or there are some other abilities that you can get to put into your inventory, and this would be the face-up area here. So whenever you're told in the campaign that it would be added to your inventory, it's face-up on the table. It does not go into your hand, does not go into your deck. It's available for use and just face-up on the table in your area. So then you're going to be setting up the master deck. So I'll give a bit of flavor text in a second and let you know the story behind what we're doing. So I'm not going to show the actual master yet, but the way that you're going to set up the master deck, there are 3 different types of cards that are used in the master deck, depending on the scenario that you're playing. So first you're going to have setting cards. I'll show a couple examples here. So setting cards, in the bottom corner is an S. And there's a whole deck of those. The number of those that go into the deck, there's a chart for easy reference. I'll try and actually say it in words, is going to be the number of setting cards will be the number of players. 5 minus the number of players times 3 is how many cards you take out. That sounded really confusing. But basically, refer to the chart in the manual. For 2 players, we remove 9 of these cards. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's 13 cards here, which means in a 2-player game, only 4 of them are going to be going into our master's deck because 9 are removed. And I will set those aside. So you're going to start with those. Then you're going to be taking the encounter cards based on the scenario that you're playing. So I will read you a little story at this point.
Ooh, story time.
Yes. So I'll show this. You're going to have, when you get the box, crack it open, you're going to have 2 booklets. One is the rule book and the other is the adventure book.
Oh, and I'm going to jump in.
Yes.
White Wizard game. So, it's Rob. Hey, Rob, how are you? Thank you so much for joining us. So, if we make any mistakes, or if you just have general questions or clarification, we have Rob in the chat.
Excellent.
To answer those questions for you. So, welcome, and thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for joining us. Okay, so you just showed up in time for story time.
I know.
So inside the adventure book is going to be the various scenarios that you're trying to play through. So we're going to start with chapter 1.
Hi, Debbie.
And we'll see if we can get through a couple plays so that you can see how you progress and how you carry on to further scenarios. So chapter 1, it does cover the setup. Anything in italics is going to be story. But just to show you a page, this is going to be set up for the chapter here. And then below in the italics will be the flavor text for the story. And I'll read that in a second. So we're going to be going up against the Enthralled Regulars as our master. I'll show you a breakdown of that card. And then it does describe how to set up the deck. But I'm going to get into the story first. It's early evening at the Inn at 4 Rivers, and the place is crowded with humans, elves, and a dozen more races, all eating, drinking, singing, and shouting. You're seated at your usual spot in the back corner, enjoying a horn of ale and wondering what to have for supper, when a crash and clatter from near the door turns your head. You see an upended table, broken dishes, and spilled drinks, as well as an angry-looking dwarf shoving an equally furious orc. You watch with only mild interest. Fights are common at the 4 Rivers. Then you notice the smoke. Black, cloudy tendrils flow across the floor of the inn. Whenever this smoke touches a customer, their eyes go wild, and they surge to their feet, weapons drawn. You quickly realize the inn is under attack by a sinister enchantment. As fight after fight breaks out, your eyes track the smoke back to its source. A group of cloaked figures by the door. Their garb and markings call the Necros cult to mind, but there's something off about them. You rise and ready your weapon. Whilst seeking a path through the choking smoke towards the intruders, a barrel of ale smashes to splinters at your feet. Looking up, you find a trio of crazed customers charging toward you. You'll have to subdue them quickly in order to get to the source of this dark magic. So what we are up against,
Oh boy,
are the enthralled regulars. So these would be the regulars at this bar that we're at. And this would be the oversized card that represents the master. There's a deck of master cards depending on scenarios that you play. Now in the top left corner is going to be the level, and you start on level 1. Top right corner is how many cards you're going to draw for that master at that level. And the master is going to get a step every turn. I'll get into the turn structure in a bit. And then at the bottom, you have all these different colored abilities. That's going to be based on cards drawn from the master's deck. And I'll describe those in greater detail later. But one thing I will mention is even the master can level up, and you would flip it over to the other side. So now, if it gets to level 2, in the top left corner, it shows its level. Top right corner, for this master, it's actually going to get to draw 2 cards.
And someone did ask what characters we were playing, so
Okay.
we have a moment.
Yep. So I am playing the cleric, and you are playing?
I'm playing the wizard, but this is something important to show. So I am playing this side of the card, but they are double-sided. So
Yes.
I think that's something important.
Absolutely. So the wizard, that's one side.
Yes.
And that's the side that Mandy's going to be playing.
Yes.
And then for the cleric, there's that side. And that's the side that I'm going to be playing. And also with the clerics, or sorry, not with the clerics, with the character card, the number in the top, I'm looking at that backwards, top right corner is your starting health. So I start with 55 health, whereas Mandy starts with 50. Yes. And also with the character packs, I might as well show these as well.
Darn right, I'm a wizard. Look at this hair. Come on.
And I normally play wizards in any role-playing type game, but in this case, I'm going to try and keep the wizard alive as long as possible playing the cleric.
Don't die before I get back. Hold off.
So these are our health trackers. So that would be the up to 80 points health, and then that would be the 80 plus, and then these are the 10s. So this is a much easier tracking method than the Star Realms
Yes,
originally.
I do find these a bit easier.
These are much easier to use. But they have the characters shown on these cards as well. Okay. So where was I? That was characters.
Did we talk about this? Yes, we did.
I was showing that.
Did you?
Right. And I described what we're up against.
Right.
Okay. So we're into the encounter deck. Yes. So setting up the deck. That's what I was doing. I read the story. So for the Master's deck in this case, we're using the encounter cards marked with a 1. So this deck that I've got here are all the encounter cards. I'll grab...
And then once you're done that, you've been asked, what is the drink for this evening?
Okay, I'll get to that in a second.
And actually, when you're done, so Deb and Rob, this is something we do on all our streams.
Yeah.
Michael makes a special drink to go with the type of games that we're playing. So I
do
think
try
you
to
can
theme the
appreciate
beverage,
this.
yes. So with all of the encounter cards, there's a number in the bottom corner here, 1, 2, and 3. And depending on the scenario that you're playing or the encounter that you're playing, it will let you know which cards to include. So for this scenario, we are using all of the encounter 1 cards. All of the rest can be set aside. Beverage-wise, because this is fantasy themed, which is in my wheelhouse, I love anything fantasy themed. This is a bourbon barrel aged stout called Dragon's Milk. It doesn't get any more fantasy themed than that, and I will say that is extremely delicious.
So if anybody wants to know what I'm drinking, it's just, water.
Clear and pure, right?
That's right, just like me.
Although I'm the cleric, that should be me, but it isn't. It so isn't.
And yes, we do need to game more. I'm talking to Rob and Debbie.
Okay, so then once you have those cards, so I've got the 4 for a 2-player game, the 4 setting cards and the encounter cards. Those are going to get shuffled. And then you're going to divide them up into 5 even stacks. Any extras that don't fit into the 5 stacks would then go into the middle stack.
And apparently we have something common. Is it needs of the one? Correct or wrong with the shuffling? He said he also does the power. Is it power shuffling? I'm a little jealous because I can't do it. So.
Okay, so in this case, with the 2-player setup of this scenario, that gave us 5 stacks of 2 with 3 cards left over. Those 3 then go into the middle. And the last thing we add are what are called mastery cards. So there are 5 mastery cards. And this symbol is basically for experience for the master, because like I said, the master can also level up. And these are the 5 different colors that are going to correspond to the abilities that the master has. Now, all cards are going to have one of these 5 colors, but these add experience to the master. So the reason you're putting out 5 stacks like this when you're setting up is you then shuffle the mastery cards, and you're going to put 1 into each stack, and then shuffle the stacks individually and layer them on top of each other. For anybody that's played Pandemic, you've done this quite a bit, just seeding the cards in. So you have loosely a nice spread of mastery cards throughout the deck.
I love how you gave me that example, like Pandemic, and I'm like, yeah, I got nothing. I have not played Pandemic. Yes, I know. So that example was lost on me.
For anybody that has played it, and I know there are many of you out there.
Yes. Oh, there's a question here.
Yes.
Is Thandar out now? So, so I was lucky enough to have a early copy, but I believe you said you received yours.
I received mine from the Kickstarter. Now, I don't know if that means it's also in stores at the moment. I received mine from the Kickstarter last week. Hopefully somebody from White Wizard can actually say whether or not it's in stores right now.
Right, so I'm sure they'll...
I would imagine if it isn't yet, it will be soon, because
right.
Kickstarter copies are out now. So.
And no, I have not played Pandemic Legacy. I know.
I have, and I'm up to, where am I at? I think I'm in October, the gaming group that I get together with for that. We haven't been able to meet as consistently as we used to be able to.
Yeah.
All right, so that is the deck for the master. Then we're going to be setting up our market and market deck like you normally would in Hero Realms or Star Realms. I'll show a couple cards though to show what we're going for here.
And to answer that question, so White Wizard did respond. It will be at PAX Unplugged, and it will be at the White Wizard Games Fair in Boston this coming weekend, and in stores very soon.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
And I know I'm going to forget the names here. So we've got, okay, because I knew I'd forget the names. It's easy to go by colors. So you've got 4 different factions of cards in the game. You've got the blue, which is the guild faction, green, which is the wild faction, the red is the Necros faction, and then the yellow would be the Imperial faction. The factions do come into play because a lot of the cards will get stronger if you have multiples of that faction being played. And all of these cards are going to be out in the market for us to purchase. So this is a typical deck building game where we start with a weak deck and we're trying to make it stronger by purchasing cards out in the middle. So I will give this a quick shuffle.
Yes, while you're shuffling, I have to say, if you're like me and you have, I don't know how well you can see it in that shot, but this is actually a box. So my decks were kind of just randomly all over the place because I've been busy. So I picked up this box to put all of my Hero Realm stuff in, and even if I have room, squeeze a little Star Realms in there. And I gotta tell you, it's really good. It even comes with like little dividers. So if you see one of these, you gotta pick it up. It's pretty cool.
I need one.
Yeah.
I didn't get the sleeves either. For some reason, I thought I had gotten the sleeves, but
we didn't. Okay, yeah.
No,
and then there's sleeves as well. So, and this is the type of game that I would sleeve because it's one that we play often, and yeah.
Now in this case, we can't because cameras and lights. It would just be reflections for what you're seeing, but.
Oh, there you go. Needs of the one. I swear, Needs of the one. We need to hire you for like social media, just being on the ball, like so good. So release date is 11/20, according to his distributor. So thank you for looking that up. That's
so that is coming up soon.
Very soon.
All right. So on your turn, when you are playing cards, you're going to be doing 2 different things. You're going to be either doing damage to minions that are in your area, minions in the master area, or the master itself, or potentially other areas. I'll get into that in greater detail when we get into it. or purchasing cards. And you're going to be purchasing cards from the market, the 5 face-up cards, or from the stack of fire gems. Fire gems will always be off to the side here. And the way you purchase cards would be the cost in the top right corner. So I'll just show that quickly before we get going. So in this case, the fire gems they are just generic, oops, the other one. Generic cards. It costs 2 to purchase them. And then when you play them, they are worth 2 and have a trash ability that lets you do damage as well. Any other card will have the cost here as well, in this case 4, the faction that it is with, and then of course their abilities. So I'll get into the abilities as we're playing them, but that's generally what we're going to be doing. And then there's also ways to heal in the game and ways to have the, in a regular game, the opponent discard cards, but that has a different effect in the campaign, and I'll describe that when we do it. All right, I think we're ready to go.
Okay, I already gave mine a really sad shuffle because I can't shuffle. It's like the overhand shuffle.
So as a reminder, what we're doing here is we're in a bar, fights have broken out, and there's people rushing towards us. There's the enthralled regulars rushing towards us. Your turn is going to be, I'll go first?
Yes.
Okay. So your turn is going to be broken up into 2 steps.
Sort of missed the fedora from last week. I mean, a cleric could wear one. That's from Needs of the One.
True, yeah.
Pretty stylish.
All right.
All right, sorry, I'm starting with 5?
Yes.
Yes.
So yes, on your turn, you'll already have 5 cards in your hand, because at the end of your turn, you would draw back up to 5.
Right.
So you start with 5 cards.
Mm-hmm. I'm so used to Star Realms, where first player starts with 3, and then the other player starts with 5, but different game.
Your turn is going to be played in 2 steps. The first step is the master step. Master gets to go first. So you flip a card from the master deck, and you're going to look at the color in the corner, and then refer to the card, the oversized card, to see which ability is going to trigger. So in this case, we've got green, and his green ability is 2 damage and discard a card.
Ooh.
So I am the active player. I will have to take 2 damage, and then I'll have to discard a card. Now, it might not show up on this camera, but with the red ability, there's spikes around the outside of that circle. That is its favorite ability. So if the color in the corner here was white, then it does whatever its favorite ability is. And if it levels up, then its favorite ability will actually be the blue one. So it will change depending on which level it is as well. So you start with triggering whatever that color is. So in this case, I have to take 2 damage and discard a card. I start with 55, so taking 2 damage, I'm down to 53. Discarding a card, that's no fun. I'll discard a basic gold. Then there are 5 different types of cards that could come into play based on the actual card. So you've got, the potentials are a hazard card, which would go into the active player's area, their play area. An event that you would resolve right away and then discard into the master's discard pile. A mastery card, as I was saying before, are the ones that go with the master to level him up. And now that I'm mentioning that, so I did show that this is level 1. Underneath that level 1, you see 3 of those diamonds that were shown on the mastery cards. That means that it requires 3 cards to level up. So you will definitely see that happen, and I'll show that in greater detail when we get to that point. Then there are 2 different types of minions. If it's a regular minion, it would go into your play area, and it's something you need to deal with. If it's an elite minion, it would go into the master's area, and everybody would have to deal with it. Now there are ways that we can help each other out as well, but I'll cover that once we get to that scenario. So in this case, I have a charging drunk. So like I said, we're in a bar, and here's a charging drunk. He's running right for me, which means he's going to be in my personal play area.
Oh dear.
If he was listed as elite, it would say underneath his name. In this case, it just says minion. Once you've placed that card, depending on the type that it is, you then resolve any minions, elite minions, from the master's area, which there are none right now, and then any minions in your personal area. So in this case, his ability is to do 4 damage to me. So I haven't even done anything yet, and I'm already down to 49. now I get to play. So looking at my cards, I've got 3 gold. So just basic 1 gold apiece. And I have my prayer beads, which is worth 2 gold or 5 health. And can be worth, I could use both of those abilities if I had 2 champions in play. I don't have any yet, but you'll see that happening eventually. Hopefully, that's the goal. So I need to start buying stronger cards. I do have up to 5 that I could be spending. This is where I get to look at the market and decide which I wish to buy. I would like to, so as the cleric, because those prayer beads get stronger when I have more champions in play, ideally I'm going to be looking for champions. That's how this deck starts to shine, is getting more champions in play. Worth 3, worth 4.
Yeah, 2 champions here. Looking like it's more for me on this market with all these actions.
Yeah, the wizard tends to favor actions, but you'll see that when Mandi starts her turn.
Right.
All right, I'll start with the Street Thug. And when you do purchase a card from the market, it refills automatically. So you can keep on purchasing as long as you have money to do so. That leaves me with 2. I think what I'll do is I'll buy a fire gem, and that will be worth more gold later when I want to do more purchasing. Anything you purchase goes to your discard pile, and then any cards that you've then played go to your discard pile. Whether it played or not, actually, go to your discard pile. You do not carry over cards from one hand to another. I couldn't hold those prayer beads until I got 2 champions in play and then play it. You either play your cards or discard them by the end of your turn. That will refresh. I then draw back up to 5.
All right.
That's my turn.
Okay. Ooh, let's see what we've got. I'll hand it over to you in a moment. Oh, look at that.
There it is. All right. So there's the first mastery card. So we still trigger whatever the color is here, but that's all that's going to happen with this card. It will just be added to the experience for the master. So it's nice in the sense that there's nothing here to worry about, but it's one step closer to the master getting stronger. So the blue ability is, we're looking at 1 damage and stun your highest champion.
Oh, well, look at that. I don't have any.
No champions, no effect.
So down to 49, taking that 1 hit.
Okay.
And, oh yes, they did mention here that we are playing the veteran level. I don't know if you had mentioned
I
that.
actually
White
did want
Wizard
to mention
Games
that.
had
Thank you
mentioned
for mentioning that. Yeah, that was something I wanted to mention at setup. We're playing the veteran level. There are 2 levels below it to make it a little easier if you are struggling, and 1 level above it if you're finding it too easy. I don't think we're finding it too easy yet.
Nope.
But we're going to go with veteran and hopefully pull off a win for you guys. I don't know. I'm not going to guarantee anything, but we didn't want to just simplify it too much. This is base rules, but there are ways to make it a little easier at the beginner and intermediate levels.
Yes.
But we're veterans, right?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Sure. Okay, so let's see what I've got here. So I've got 3 gold, and I have 2 attack cards. I have an action, and I have an item. Unfortunately, my item card says it's a damage of 1. If you have 2 or more actions in play, draw a card.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I do not.
So that's where Mandi's wizard shines when she has more actions to play, because similar to my prayer beads, where it gets stronger when I have 2 champions in play, and this is your
item.
Fire staff?
So my fire staff, yes.
The fire staff gets stronger if she has 2 actions in play, and she actually gets to draw another card, which could snowball into even more abilities, more actions.
Right. So before I even do that, I can actually use my 3 money.
Sounds good.
There's a couple options here. I have an action which gives me 3 money, which is kind of nice. Also has put the next action you acquire this turn on the top of your deck if I have that symbol. This is the, remind me. Market, no. It's going to bug me.
It's the guild faction.
The guild, there it is. And it has like a little bag, so you think I'd remember that. And then we have close ranks, which is 5 damage plus 3 for each champion you have in play. However, I could also get 6 healing later if I can match faction.
Now, I know I tend to try to get that faction.
Yes, so this might be better for you.
Imperial faction. See, we're so used to just
I know.
yellow, red. It's so much easier, yellow, red, blue. But because we're on the stream, we do want to give you the
wanna
proper
make sure we're
faction
saying
names.
the right
Yes.
things.
So if we're not getting them quite right, I will refer to this to make
Yes.
sure that I am getting it right.
The only one I remember is Necros for some reason. Why?
Yes.
I do not know.
No comment.
So maybe I should take this one here.
I think so. You
Yeah.
seem to do really well with the
Right.
guilds faction.
So I don't know if you guys can see that, or you can all see that.
I can show it.
Okay, there we
Show
go.
it close up. So with this card, we won't show all the cards, but just to give you a sense of what the cards are looking like. So here is an action called Bribe, and then underneath it does say what type it is. So this is an action card. It's the guild faction, costing 3. Its base ability is worth 3 gold. So when Mandi goes to play it next, that's 3 money that she gets to spend. And then this symbol here shows that if there is another guild faction card in play matching that, then this would trigger. And in this case, it is for the next, put the next action you acquire this turn on top of your deck. So you get that card much quicker instead of it going into your discard pile and having to wait until it gets shuffled back into your deck.
Okay, so that happens, and then we're going to do 3 hits to... oh, yes, thanks.
3 hits, eh?
So.
Okay, so before you do assign that, so when you go to attack, if there are any minions in your area, you have to deal with those minions. You're not allowed to attack anywhere else because you're distracted by the fight that is currently in front of you. Same way with healing. You can heal party members that are adjacent to you, or the term is nearby. In a 2-player game, we are nearby each other. But let's say it was a 4-player game. I would only be nearby players to my immediate left and my immediate right. And something to keep in mind when you set up is the master does take up a seat at the table. So let's say there was a player between Mandi and I, and the master was sitting here. I would be adjacent to the player to my left, but I would not be adjacent to Mandi because the master is in the way. And in terms of master adjacency, everybody is considered nearby the master. So everybody has access to attack the master. So having said that, if you do have a minion in front of you, you must deal with that minion before you can do anything else. There are exceptions with some keywords. I'll get into that after, though.
It's not looking good in this case.
If you do not have a minion in front of you, then you're free to either attack somebody, attack a minion in a nearby area, attack a minion that is in the master's area, or attack the master itself. If there are guards, we don't have a guard in play yet.
Not yet.
And there's none out.
No.
But I'll show you, this is the defense value on this minion. Has a defense of 4. And champions that we have in play will also have a defense value. In this case, it is a gray shield, which means they're not preventing, so if this was sitting here, it would not prevent us from attacking the master. But if there was one that was a black shield with the guard, and I'll show one when we get an example, you would have to remove the guard before you could attack the master. So getting back to Mandi's ability right now to attack.
Not enough.
She's got 3, which is not enough to take care of this minion that's sitting here. This charging drunk, he's a little stronger than 3, and the damage must be done all in one shot. So if she's not able to do 4, she's not able to do any, which means the 3 damage will go over here.
Yep.
All right, so we've got the master down to 47.
Sweet. And yes, my powers are quite good, but we won't use them yet. When we were going through this game, the first go, oh boy, did they ever come in
So
handy.
yeah, we do have an ability and a skill. I'll cover those a little bit later, because right now we won't be using them immediately.
All right, drawn
So
my
over to
5
me.
cards. Over to you.
All right, so what have we got? We have another charging drunk. They're I don't know why they're coming after me. So we've got. Oh, wait a second. I'm going to back up a second.
Yes.
I did not read that full card to everybody, and it is relevant to what you could have done.
Okay. Is it one where it gives you the
double damage?
Double damage. That's I was gonna ask.
Yeah, the charging drunk. I got too distracted with other things here.
Yep.
There's an
Rob just
ability.
said it.
Okay. There's an ability on the bottom called Unaware, and what that. So I was describing nearby. The ability here is nearby players deal double damage to this minion. So for myself, I showed you it does have a defense of 4. I would have to hit it for 4 damage. But anybody nearby me would only have to hit it for 2 because he's focused on me. He just sees me. He doesn't care about anything else. Mandi could come up, backstab him, does double damage. So let's back that up because that is something that should have
Absolutely.
happened. Yep. So he was at 50. Mandi can do double damage to this. 2 of it would have gone to the minion.
Because if you remember, I had 3.
Yep. So that's gone. That does leave Mandi with 1 damage left over.
Correct.
And you can split it up. So the 2 would go there, then 1 would go to the master, down to 49.
Yes.
Okay, so shock and awe. Charging minion coming at me.
All right.
This time it is with the blue ability, which I believe was 1 damage and...
Yeah, 1 damage and
Stun the highest?
stun your highest champion.
Okay, so I don't have any champions in play. That's fine. 1 damage takes me down to 48. And then we resolve that minion, so it's doing another 4. It takes me down to 44. So I'm already down 11.
Yikes.
Let's see what I can do. So I've got 2 more basic gold. And then I've got, ooh, that's exciting. I have my followers.
Oh, okay.
So I have 2 followers. They don't do a lot of damage. It's only 1 damage. And they are guards. So this is an example of what I was saying is if it's a black shield and it does say guard right above the number, anything has to remove the guards before going to either the master or myself. So if I have the guard sitting here, those get damaged before it goes to me. So they protect you a bit, but it also feeds into those prayer beads where it's stronger if I have 2 or more guards out. So those go into my play area, and they will remain in my play area until defeated. And then I also have my spiked mace, which conveniently does a total of 4 damage. So those 2 would go. My spiked mace goes. That's 4 damage. That charging drunk is gone.
Nice.
And that is played. That leaves me with 2 gold. And I doubt there's anything up here I
We've got
want.
action. That's it. Or
Yeah, I think I'm going to go for a fire gem for 2. So I'm looking to get money for later. So once you're done, any guards in front would refresh. I'm out of cards, so I'll have to shuffle my discard pile. And over to you.
all right. Well, we'll start with this. So anybody who's watching, people have commented on it before. I play like I'm a left-handed person, and I fan my cards this way. I also play sports like this. I snowboard goofy. So I'm just throwing that out there if anyone's wondering about my cards. In this case, it's not so bad because there are no symbols in the corners, which is something else I usually talk about when I play card games, but I don't have that issue here. So.
All right.
Okay. Temporary insanity. Oh, for goodness sakes. It's a curse. For each nearby player, sacrifice the top card of the market deck. Make a villainous attack against that player with combat equal to the card's money value.
Okay. So each nearby player, in this case I'm the only nearby player, she's going to be attacking me because she's temporarily insane and flipping over the top card of the market deck.
Yes, so
and you'll be hitting me for whatever the value is of that
and then
card.
I have to resolve this.
Actually, that should be first.
That should be first.
That should be first.
Yeah, that's
yeah,
what I thought.
yeah.
Okay, so he heals 2.
Heals 2. All right, 49. He's up to 51. He's stronger than he
Lovely.
started.
Ah.
That's not good.
And now we'll do this.
Yep. Doing damage to me of 4.
Hey, that's rich.
Dude, what are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. And
Hit him, not
I'm
me.
sorry. What am I supposed to do?
Okay.
Yep. Go ahead. You
Yep.
can take that one.
So that was an action card.
Thank you, Holden. Yes, it is.
Do I want to know?
That I ride Goofy.
Oh, okay. So here you go. Temporary insanity, and then it's got the text box here that you resolve. And once that's done, it was only temporarily insane. This is then gone. Now, I'm going to read the exception here. Or will I? No. I won't do it yet. I won't do it yet.
And for those asking about my finger, you can see I have a nice little Hello Kitty Band-Aid on it.
Do not say where you got that.
I was assembling
Totally mine.
my first ever IKEA Calyx. And
Ooh,
yeah,
nice.
by myself, 4x4. It was heavy and fine, and usually I'm very good with that.
I need one.
Yeah, so it kind of ripped my nail off. It's disgusting. So figured you'd rather see Hello Kitty than my gross nail.
Great Band-Aid.
Yes, thanks, Mike. Okay, back to the task at hand.
Yes.
Here. All right, so I like to lay my cards out. Okay, it's just easier for me to see what I'm doing.
Before you go, though.
Yes,
Oh, you did that one.
I did
right.
this one.
No, I'm
You're trying
temporarily
to give
insane.
me more damage.
I don't know. You. I'm the one that took the damage on that.
Fair point.
Okay.
So I'm going to start by placing my champion. And yeah, it's a cat familiar,
Yep.
which totally makes
So I'll
sense.
show
Me being
that
a
off.
wizard.
This is the wizard's champion. Cat familiar. Has some flexibility there. And rather cute.
Yes, and super cute. It's appropriate. So we'll see how we're going to use that momentarily. And then I also have an action for 2 damage, and I have an item which gives me 1 money, and then the next action I acquire costs 1 less.
So I'll show that
Yes,
as well.
because it's an action
So
specific.
these are the character-specific cards that we started within our decks. And this one's called Spell Components. So it's worth 1, but if Mandi was to buy an action, she gets it for 1 cheaper, which feeds into the whole wizards are best with actions because they can get them cheaper, and it makes some of their items stronger as well.
Yeah, so technically I have a few options here. I can be looking at a 4, even a 5 potentially, because I have some extra money here that I could use.
Yep.
Because right now I have an attack of 2. You don't have anything there.
Nope.
So I can toss it that way. So that's actually the easiest thing to resolve, I think.
We'll resolve that first?
Yeah, let's get that out of the way.
So back down to 49.
Yep. I'll just put it here, actually, so
Yep.
just in case. And then let's see what we have here. So right now the only thing that I could look at is...
There's an action here.
Oh, here. Oh, yes, this is a good one.
Yeah.
So this one gives me 7 combat, and then with the Necros faction, I can draw a card. Actually, this is quite handy for 4.
Yep.
So using my 3, acquiring for 1
And
less.
getting an action for 1 cheaper, yep.
Yeah.
So that would normally cost 4. With the spell components, it's only going to cost her 3, and she can just
Right.
use her basic money for that.
And here,
then-
I could actually do another hit, or I could do healing. I'm at 49. I don't really need to heal.
And I'll show that once more, just
Yes.
because I don't think I've shown
Sure.
the healing yet. So these are the 3 symbols that are at the bottom. You've got combat, money, and healing. And she can assign that to herself or to a nearby player. And again, 2-player game, I'm nearby. So she could assign it 1 to me, 1 to herself, or in the case of little kitty cat, scratch him for 1.
So what are you at for health?
I'm at 40.
Well, what are you thinking? Are you thinking you want the health, or do you think if you want to hit him? It's 1, so it's not... We're not...
Yeah, not breaking the bank here one way or
Correct.
another. I wouldn't mind taking it.
Okay, so why don't we give it to you? So
I'm up to
technically
41.
I've expended this.
Thank you.
However,
Cat licked my wounds.
I'll do a little shuffle because my deck is...
And I'll place a card in the market.
Yeah, and this will actually refresh.
Okay.
And you can go ahead while I do my...
That's
really
over to
terrible
me.
shuffle.
What have I got here? Okay, so first off, we go to the master deck. They love me. Charging Drunk. So we've got the yellow ability first, which is Healing 2 for this master. So 49 back up to 51.
Yes, Hello Kitty heals all, including...
And he's the exact same as all the other Charging Drunks. Anybody that is nearby me can do double damage. So if I can't get rid of him, hopefully Mandi can with just 2 damage. He's going to do 4 damage to me, so 41 I'm down to 39. Yikes. It's 41 I'm down to 37. Even worse. Yikes. And he refreshes. Okay, so no. Sorry. I said 39 because I worked it out in my head but forgot to actually show this. Yes, I have 2 guards. So when he's attacking, the 2 damage has to go here first, removes them, then 2 damage to me, I'm down to 39. The way that the master is going to attack, there is an order that it assigns damage. It's going to go for the highest guard first. So let's say I had 2 guards, 1 at 6, 1 at 4. It will attack the 6 first if it can kill it. If not, then it'll go to the next lowest. If I have no guards and just have a regular champion here, a non-guard champion, it will deal the damage to me if it can kill me that turn. If it can't kill me, then it will assign damage to the non-guard champions instead. So there's an order to how it deals damage. So my followers are gone. I took 2 damage. Over to me. I have 3 gold, a fire gem, making it 5, and the street thug that I purchased before, where I could make it a total of 6, and this is a champion, or 2 damage. So there's flexibility here. I can take 1 money or do 2 damage, and it has 4 non-guard defense. So let's see what my options are. I'm looking for some champions.
Here's one here.
2, 3, 4, 5, or as much as 6.
Here's one for 4. Everything
I
else.
would love that action, but I'm 1 short for
Yeah.
that. Okay, so I'll go with this champion. The Rayla Endweaver. So that cost me 4. And let's see here. The 2 damage is not going to do me any good because I have to deal with that charging drunk that has a defense of 4. I do have an option though if I wish, and I don't think I will, but so here's the fire gem I purchased before, and these are cards that you can always purchase because they're just off to the side here. There's a stack of fire gems. You can always purchase these for 2. They are worth 2 gold when you go to purchase others. They have a value of 2. And this is a trash ability. So if I wanted to, I could trigger that, doing 3 damage with this, plus another 2 with that champion to get rid of him. But I don't need to worry about this until my next turn. Are you able to deal with this? Can you do 2 damage there?
Yeah, I think I should have no problem.
You think you can sneak up behind him? Okay. Now, we don't know for sure because the master's going to get a turn first. So it could put another minion in front of Mandi, and then she'd have to deal with that,
which would be
and hopefully have enough damage left over to carry over. But I'm going to take that chance. So that still leaves me 2 to spend. I'm going to get another fire gem.
Okay.
So that was using my champion, who would have been exhausted. He does refresh at the end of my turn. Draw back up. That's me.
All right. So let's start off by seeing what we have in store for us here. Oh, look at that. Another mastery.
Another mastery card. So you are getting let off a little easy here in the sense that there's nothing here to deal with, but...
Now, did you talk about this yet?
White, yes.
Okay,
yeah.
You did talk about it? Okay, so because it's white, I'm going to have to take the action here that has a little star around it, and
so that's
the red.
Its favorite ability.
3 damage! Oh!
Oh, you can take that.
1, 2, 3. Well, it's not so bad.
You have a Hello Kitty Band-Aid. You're fine.
It blocks it. Okay, so let's start off with the money section here. And then I have some, this is all my monies. And then this is some damage down here. Okay, so, and actually this is going to be important because this card, the fire staff that I had before, because if I have 2 or more actions in play, I get to draw a card, which will happen because I have an action here and I have an action here.
Very good.
So this allows me to draw a card.
Yep.
Oh, well, hello, hello. What's this? Damage to the cat first.
Yes, you took how much damage?
That's right. I took 3.
Yep. So 2 would go to the
That's
kitty.
right. I apologize. I forgot.
Yeah.
See? This is why we have people in the chat. So, yes. That's my kitty.
So then take 2 back.
Right. Here. All right. So anybody who who didn't understand what was happening there, my cat, my familiar, had a shield of 2. So when I took those 3 damage, I should have taken it here first, discarding my familiar, and then taking the 1 remaining from me personally. So that's what happened.
Like I was saying, there's an order to how the master distributes damage. First, guards, then you, if it can kill you this turn. If not, then it goes back to non-guard champions. And then anything left over would then go back to you again.
Bye, kitty. Meow. Okay, so moving along. Wow, I got a lot of damage happening here, by the way.
Nice.
Did I draw my card? Yes, I did. It was this. And I don't have a matching star. Okay, so you know what? Let's do the money first, because I feel like there's stuff happening here. Okay, so I have 1 plus 3 is 4. 5, and then this I can get something, an action for 1 less. So technically I could look at a 6 and pay 5
for some
for it.
actions, yeah.
But I think I might be doing like a 3 and a 3 sort of situation. This would be great because then I can pair this up here. You may sacrifice a card, so it'll help me to filter out some cards.
So Mandy's looking at some more Necros cards because she already has Necros in her deck.
Which I think is great. So I'm going to acquire that. You want to take a look at that? And I'll refill. Yeah.
So this is a Necros card, an action card called the Rot. Again, costs 3 to purchase. Has a base ability of doing 4 damage. But another neat ability to these ones, and it is very key to deck builders like this, is that you can discard a card, sacrifice a card in your hand or discard pile. And then if you pair it up with another Necros card, it does additional damage. Now, the sacrificing of cards is what allows you to get those weaker cards out of your deck to make your deck a nice, tight, working machine. So getting cards like that in play is great.
So I have a couple options here. No. So technically I have 2 monies left, but I have a bit of that discount where I can buy something.
That was an
for
action?
3. So that's an action.
Okay, so the discount already went towards that.
This? Perfect.
Yep.
So then that would
so that
leave me
cost
with
you 2.
2.
So it leaves you with 3.
Correct.
Yep.
So I have a champion that I could buy for 3. Or I can buy this action for 1. But then I'm taking a chance at something else coming out. Otherwise, I'm going to have to take this. I'm going to leave this action here potentially for you because I think this might work
If
to
I can
your
get
strengths.
there. The reason this one is sitting there and
Not
would be
that
great
I'm
to get
getting
is
at.
because it's 7 to buy it. But if we can get that, that's great.
And even this one too, I think I should leave. So
Yeah.
I'm thinking I'm looking toward here because
Mind that
it,
champion.
you know, draw a card as the extra action and also 2 damage. Can't go wrong.
I like it.
Okay, so we'll do that. So those are the 2 that I'm purchasing.
Okay, so that's purchasing done.
And we'll just do this here, not putting in my discard quite yet, but getting close to. And here will be the damage. So that's 7 plus 2 is 9 plus another 1 for 10.
Excellent. Do you mind throwing some at the charging drunk for me? All right, so only 2 needs to go here because you get to do double damage.
Right.
So that leaves 8.
Correct.
Going here? Or are you going to be insane and throw it at me again?
No.
Okay,
We will.
so we're down to 43 on the master.
All right, and now these can go into discard. And I can...
All right, over to me.
3, 4, 5. That's all she wrote.
What do we got? Master first, and we've got... Unbelievable. Okay, so first off, we have the red ability, which is 3 damage. My champion has a defensive 4. If it was a guard with a defensive 4, that means I wouldn't take any damage. But because it is not a guard, it cannot be defeated with 3 damage. So the 3 damage would go to me instead. I'm down to 36, which is a little scary. Then this charging drunk comes into play. Again, I'm getting all the charging drunks coming to they want my beer. That's what it is. They want my beer.
They smelled water on me and went, nope.
And he's going to do 4 damage, which will defeat this champion. So that gets removed from play into my discard pile. Okay, over to me.
That was a rough first go there.
Let's see here. I've got 3 money. I've got 2 damage, and I've got flexibility, 2 money, or 5 healing. And that, again, that's my prayer beads. That would be stronger if I had multiple champions. But you can see it's difficult to keep champions in play, which is why I want to try and purchase as many champions as possible to get my deck rich with champions to have in play. So is there a champion for 5?
You're killing me here.
No, there's just the one for 8.
I'm so sorry. Let's see, maybe
So
take something.
I think what I might do instead, because I can't afford a champion, I'm going to use this for the healing ability, because I am hurting a bit. So 36, I'm going to go back up to 41.
Swing that one.
Yep, I still have 3 to spend. I still have 3 to spend. So
nice.
I will purchase the close ranks action that has a base attack of 5, which is nice. But then it also has an ability here that says plus 2 damage for each champion you have in play. And as I said, I'm trying to build my deck with champions, and that would feed right into that. The more I have, the more damage the close ranks card does. So that is me. That leaves me with 2 damage that I can't actually do anything with, because I do have this charging drunk in front of me. Even though he's not a guard, I cannot fight past him because he's distracting me. So that does not get used, nor do I hold on to it. 1 card left. I'm going to shuffle and draw back up. Over to you.
Okay, so let's do this here. Wow, temporary insanity.
Oh, not again.
So basically it's the same type that I've had before.
I've got everybody attacking me, including you.
But before I do that,
Okay.
I'll resolve the red action here, which is, oh, look at that, 3 damage. I do anything else out? I do not. So, well, I'm just taking straight 3, which will take me down to 44 health.
Okay.
It's not terrible. And now we're going to resolve this. So it's like last time, I have to draw a card from the top of the deck.
Yeah, you do.
3 damage. So it's 3
Okay.
monies. It's going to give you that for combat.
41 down to 38.
Not so bad. All right, and we've resolved that. Perfect. Now, my hand is pretty sad. I legitimately have all money,
Okay.
except for 1 card.
And that card is extremely key.
Yes, so let's maybe start with this. So
Please do.
2 damage.
So again, this has a guard of 4, or a defensive 4, I should say. And any nearby players do double damage. Mandy's only doing 2, but that's all that's required to get rid of that.
So we're just going to slide that to the side here.
Thank you.
Now I have no problem. I have 4 monies to spend. I do see a couple things on the board that I like. This is kind of appealing to me. because I already have the guild faction in my deck. It gives me 5
and you named
damage.
it right. Good job.
Oh, see? And it's only worth 2. And then at least I have a couple other options here.
Sure.
Because I have
So
4
start
to
with
spend.
that.
So I'm going to start with that for 2.
Yep.
And we'll see what happens here. Okay, unfortunately, I cannot afford this, but now I'm left here. This is 1 and this is 2. So if I buy this, it's using up all my money. I feel like this is not one that I was using.
No, that would play better
Yeah.
towards mine because I am trying to build towards the Imperial faction.
Right, so this is
Yes.
the Imperial faction. See, we're in a roll. And this one also has some healing. So I'm going to leave that there, but I probably will pick up the Spark action, which gives me 3 combat, and target opponent discards a card,
Okay.
which is nice.
Yep.
So that's only 1, so I'll take that.
Yeah, and that leaves you with 1 more.
Hopefully, nope.
And nothing there.
So
All
I'm going
right.
to forego that 1, and that is the end of my turn.
So again, it does leave Mandi with 1 gold, but she's not allowed to hold on to that. Everything is discarded, and then you move on to your next 5
So
cards.
now I got to shuffle.
So we've mentioned a couple times now that cards that Mandi is purchasing does have an ability that the opponent discards cards. I'll show you how that resolves when those start coming back into play. Okay, over to me. What does the master bring?
Yeah.
Red first, and that was, I believe, 3 damage.
3 damage.
Yep,
'Cause
3
I
damage.
keep getting it.
I have no champions in play, so it does go to me, down to 35. Yikes. And now we have a biting imp. 9 at me. That's not fun. All right. I'm just here to have a beverage at this nice tavern. If I play a Necros card, then it stuns this minion. And stun is how things get removed and put into discard piles. It is technically a stun. So then we look at any minions here. There are none. This minion activates its activation ability, which again is that arrow. So it will activate to do, in this case, discard an item.
Ooh.
So I have to discard an item from my hand, and that'll just be one of the basic gold currencies, which is an item. So I'll discard that. Now it's over to me. If I had a Necros card, played it, it would scare him off. He's scared of those demons, and he would fly away. But I don't have any. So all I have really is kind of a hurting hand. I've got 5. 5 to spend.
Nope, that's 6. That's
Even
2.
Yeah, only
This is
2
the one
champions.
we were
They're
saying.
expensive. Yeah, I'll start with that for 2. That leaves me 3.
Oh, there's that one I was looking for earlier.
Hmm.
But doesn't mean you can't take it.
Yeah. Leaves me 3, eh? Now that I see we have these imps in play, maybe I should take that just so I have a Necros
Yeah,
card.
because I'm going to have to take a champion myself at some point.
Yeah. Okay. I'll do that. That leaves me 2. And that's no good. I'll take a fire gem.
Yeah.
Now, I do have a fire gem that I've played, so I could discard that to do 3 damage, but it's 4 to get rid of the biting imp. So he's going to be a little tricky for me to get rid of. It doesn't have the nearby rule that the charging drunks had where Mandi could do double damage. We need to do 4 damage to get rid of that. Or I need to play a Necros card, which is why I just bought one, just in case those start piling up in my area.
So
Okay.
Rapunzel, yeah, I've been there. And locating spell, yes. So I'm doing it while I'm playing. So let me know if it works. Okay. And we'll pick one here. Runos Disciple, Minion, Human Fanatic. So this is a 3 damage. Oh. All right, first let me resolve this.
Yep. So that was
Oh,
3.
I don't even know why I'm looking because it's red and
Yep.
that's all I get. So I get 3. Brings me down to 41. And then I take another 3, which is going to bring me down to, let me see, where's my 30? 38.
Yep.
There
While
we
you're
go.
doing that, I do like the flavor text on these ones. This is the Runos Disciple. The Necros believe demons are a means to an end. The Runos believe demons are a means to the end.
Yep. So, yeah, technically this should have been like this.
So you did the 3 damage.
Did 3 damage.
It refreshes.
Okay, there we go.
Over to you.
Oh, I've got a mixed bag happening here. Okay, so let me just lay these out because we've got basically all damage this turn.
Hopefully you have enough to get rid of both of the minions.
Oh, I think that will be the case here. Okay, so first, let's start with this. If you have 2 or more actions in play, draw a card. I have an action here, 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 here.
All actions all the time. Nice.
Safe to say, I can draw a card. Oh, money. I probably can't buy a darn
One
thing.
little coin falls into your lap.
I know, like, can I even do something here? Let's take a look. No. Okay, so this was useless.
Because you did mention that, let's go over our skills.
Okay.
I won't trigger I won't show our abilities yet because
Yeah.
those are going to be they're a one-time use that you want to play at very key moments. I'll describe those when we get to them. But our skills. So it's your turn. I'll just do the skill
Yeah, just skill right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is the wizard skill. And it is the campaign skill. So it shows here you would exhaust this and spend 2 gold and suffer 1 health. You get to draw a card. So if Mandi had 2 gold and no decent cards to purchase, she could instead spend the 2 gold here, exhaust this, take a hit, draw a card, and that could help with card combinations as well. So for example, we've already shown she, with her fire staff, is strong with 2 or more action cards. If she had 1 action and 2 coins, she could spend the 2 coins and try and get another action into her hand. You can use those once per turn because you do exhaust that card, and then it refreshes at the end of your turn. And then looking at mine, somewhat similar idea. So I have the bless skill. Yeah. Same idea. You would exhaust it, spend 2 coins, and in this case, the target player. So it doesn't have to be myself. I can target Mandi as well. Target player will first gain 3 health. They get to heal up, and their champions gain +1 defense until the end of your next turn. So it will most likely be used for myself because as I start to get more champions in play, that will become a very strong ability because it increases the defense on each one for a round. But if Mandi has some in play or really needs the healing, then that's a way that I can heal as well.
Well, this 1 gold's not doing me any favors right now, and
Okay.
none of my factions are matching at all.
Okay.
So
yeah,
it's
you've got
basically
one of almost everything there.
right. So it's all damage really. So I've got 3 plus 7 is 10, 15, 18, and target opponent discards a card.
Okay, so we've got our first target opponent discards a card.
Right.
In the case of the campaign play, the master does not have a hand that it plays from. It plays from the deck. So what this lets us do is we get to look at the top card off the deck and then decide to either put it back or discard it. So if it's a really strong card, that's our opportunity to throw it into the discard pile. But if it's one we think we can deal with that, we can just put it back on top. So we have, ooh, there's a mastery card.
I'm thinking
Discard it.
Yep.
So this is the next card. This is a mastery card. This would actually trigger it to go to level 2. And as you saw at the start, these were seeded throughout the deck at loosely equal intervals. They did get shuffled into each interval like in Pandemic for those that have played it. But this means we get to discard it and we don't have to worry about the master leveling up until we hit that 4th section of the deck. So yeah, even though in and of itself that card is easy to deal with, the consequences of it leveling up are not so good. So that's actually a great time to have that ability. Well done.
This is perfect.
Okay, so your damage was?
I think I said 18. Hold on, let's do a quick recount here.
Sure.
7, so that's 10, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Okay, so the first thing is you must deal with what's in front of you.
Yep, for 3.
Okay.
So that'll bring it down to 15.
15
so
damage.
That's gone.
I wouldn't mind
Sure.
if you helped me out.
Spread the wealth a
Okay,
little.
thank you very much. So that imp had 4 defense. That takes you down to 11.
Yep.
Rest going here.
Absolutely.
Takes the master down to 32.
Yes, that's right. Wizard's discard saves the day.
Yeah, that was very, very well timed.
Good timing.
Right. You're going to see level 2, and you'll see it is not pleasant to deal with. It does make the master a little bit stronger.
Alrighty.
Okay, over to me.
2, 3, 4, 5, yeah.
So, what do we have next? It's another biting imp. Oh, you got rid of one for me, but another one's coming
Another
in.
one has resurfaced.
So first off, we have the blue ability, in this case, 1 damage. So I'm down to 34.
Eee.
And stun my highest defense champion, I have none. So that's fine. The minion will then go. I have to discard an item.
Oh boy.
All right, so I do have a basic gold in my hand. That's an item. That's gone. Now I get to play. So I have 2 fire gems. That's 4 golds. I do have one champion. It's one of my followers. Very low level. Does 1 damage and guard 1. However, I do have close ranks. So I'm going to deal with this first. This is the action card that I have, that I had purchased before, that I said gets stronger with the more champions I have in play. So in this case, it does a base of 5, plus 2 for each champion I have in play.
Yikes.
So damage-wise, I've got 5, 7, 8 damage to deal.
Pretty good.
So he will trigger. 8 damage, 4 of it goes here. 4 of it goes to the master. We're down to 28.
Nice.
We're getting there.
Slow but surely.
And then if I had another Imperial faction, and I don't even have to look to see if I got that right, if I had another Imperial faction card in play, then I would also get to heal 6 to myself or somebody nearby, which would be Mandi.
Right.
But I don't have another one of those, so that's taken care of. That leaves me with 4 to spend. Do we have champions in play?
We do, but
6
they're pretty
and
pricey.
4 to spend. All right, here's what I'm going to do then. 4 to spend. Yeah, here's what I'm going to do. 4 to spend, I'm going to buy 2 more fire gems,
Okay.
but I'm going to trash both of these ones. So I'm going to trigger the trash ability, which is another total 6 damage. They would just go back into the fire gem pile, and 6 damage goes here, taking it down to 22.
Might as well.
Yep. So then my champion refreshes. These are discard pile. That's me.
All right. So this is not as good of a turn as last time. Oh, before I do that, let's do this first. Almost forgot.
Forgot.
I know, forgot. Yeah, exactly. Crazed Bartender. It's a minion, human bartender. Unaware, nearby players deal double damage to this minion. I'm sorry. 8?
But if I can do 4, right, same idea. But yes, now this is the bartender. It's no longer the drunk patrons coming after us. This is the bartender coming after us.
Well, first let's resolve the green here. So that is 2 damage and discard a card. So I need to take 2.
So status update, you're at 36.
Sorry, yes, 36
I'm
damage.
at 34.
And now I'm discarding.
Master's at 22.
So I'm just discarding a money card that I had worth 1. Bye-bye. Oh my goodness. Now I have to take 8.
Yes, you do.
So that's going to happen. So that's going to leave me
that
to 28.
That bartender is not happy.
Turn right is not. And I can refresh this now. And play my sad turn. Oh, wow. That's so bad. Like, literally, it's terrible. So I have no matching factions. I do have this. You may sacrifice a card in your hand or discard pile.
Okay. That's nice.
Yeah.
So that ability, like I said, it's a way to thin out your deck and make it a little more stronger, a little more, intense. So you can discard it from your hand or from your discard pile. Ideally, you're going to want to go discard pile because cards in your hand you can still use in your hand. Yeah.
So.
But if you didn't have a discard pile because you had recently shuffled, you can still get rid of one from your hand as well.
So before I even get to that here, I do have a champion, which is going to come into play, which gives me 2 combat.
Okay.
So.
If that's all the combat, that doesn't do you any good because you need to deal with this.
Oh, that's right. So which is that, which is 8. Not going to happen. So
I'll show this one because
you can leave it there.
This is a stronger
I can't
card,
use it.
and it's unfortunate timing. So this is the Crazed Bartender. He does 8 damage, which is not good, and he is just a regular minion. And worse off is he has a defense of 8. So for Mandi to get rid of him, or to even deal damage anywhere, she'd have to do 8 damage to him first. But it does have the Unaware trait, which means I only have to deal 4 damage. I can backstab him for 4 and get rid of him.
Ziggy Bobinator, I would love to say fire away, but I don't have enough damage, and you
Yeah.
know where I'm going with that. So damage is not going to happen, unfortunately, this turn. But I will sacrifice the this card out of my hand. So this is the one that was the money. So just so everyone can see, I'll just throw it over here.
Perfect.
And that leaves me. So this card's been dealt with. Now that leaves me with 2 money, but technically I can buy something for 3.
Now, there are other abilities on Mandi's cards here that would be great if they were to trigger, but again, you need to have the same faction. So she has a wild card here that if she had another wild card, she'd get to draw a card, which could bring in more damage. Or if she had another Necros card, she'd be dealing more damage. But that's where you try and, if you can, focus on 1 or 2 factions so that you're really strong in those, because if you buy all 4 factions, it's going to be really hard to get those synergies going.
Or I could potentially
You could
pay
try and get another
2,
matching card.
lose some health, and draw a card, and then that could potentially make something happen here.
Yep. So now we're looking at the wizard skill.
Right.
So you could buy an action for 3, which would be this.
Yeah, and then that I actually do have a guild action in my deck. Put the next action required this turn, acquired on this turn on the top of your deck, which actually would be better, I think. But I don't know what's going to be here.
Yeah, and that's now part of the gamble as well. She could purchase this one, or spend 2, take 1 hit to use that skill, and draw 1 off the top. Maybe matching one of those. If it was a wild card, then she'd get to draw another card. If it was a Necros card, she'd be doing more damage and be able to get rid of that.
But I just feel they were all drawn
Yeah.
on that last turn. I
Well,
could do it,
it's
but
your
it'd
call.
be a chance.
It's your call.
I feel like I should be...
Or it's your call.
It's your call, I
If
know.
anybody there feels strongly
What do you
one
think
way
I
or
should
another.
do?
Yeah.
Take a chance and draw this card, or should I take what's something in the market where I'm guaranteed,
Take the known, yeah.
Yeah,
It would be nice to get rid of that. How much damage are you doing right now?
just with what I have here,
Yeah.
it would be a total of 6.
6. So you only need 2 more damage. How much does that trigger?
3.
So if you get a Necros
And
card,
this gives me another draw.
yeah. So if you get one of those 2,
Draw.
Do
Of
it.
course, and it had to be halted, of course.
do it then.
Okay, so I'm going to
So you're
pay
spending your 2.
my 2.
Yep.
This is kind of tight here, but we'll do that.
Yep.
And I also have to take 1 damage. This brings me down to 27. But I do get to draw a card. Okay, drum roll.
Here we go.
Go, Hello Kitty. Yeah,
No good.
no good.
That would be the guild faction.
That's the guild
One of the
faction.
factions she doesn't have. No, Mandy's kind of focusing on 3 different factions. She now has all 3 factions
Right.
represented, no matching cards at all. So those are spent. You do still have this as
Right.
a potential discount. Now, in this case, she actually has more money to spend because she only had 2
Right.
with the potential of a discount on an action. Now she has 3 with a discount on an action. So you could get an action worth 4.
Technically, I should probably just buy the one
You're still
I was
looking at the
gonna
same one.
take
So
it
you know what?
to
No
be
harm,
good.
no foul,
No,
right?
it's true.
still the same case.
I broke even.
Yep.
We're good to go. So that will be my turn. Unfortunately,
Yep.
wasn't as fruitful as I would have liked.
So that was 6 damage that just kind of gets wasted because
It's gonna refresh.
she must deal with that minion first because that's distracting her.
Let me just push this over here.
Okay, so it's over to me.
Yeah. Oh, Alden, sorry. It's okay. I didn't lose anything.
You know what? I was thinking the
so-
same thing, actually. I was thinking draw was the way to go. And in this case, it was a wash. She worked out with the same results. So.
And yes, more gold. So
Yep.
gold can hurt.
Okay, over to the master. What do we have? Here we go. Okay, first off, we've got the blue ability, which is 1 damage and stun my highest champion.
Ruh-roh.
So 1 damage, I'm down to 33, and stunning my highest champion, I only have the 1. That's gone. But now we have a hazard. So hazards, as I said at the start when we were setting up, hazards go in front of the active player. And this is broken tables and chairs. So remember, we're in a bar fight, right? There's fights all around in this bar. This says your area is blocked off. So tables and chairs have just piled up in front of me, and now I'm cornered off. I can't fight, heal, or target outside my area, and other players can't fight, heal, or target inside my area. So it's effectively put a barrier up between myself and all other players. And I can expend one of my champions to clear this hazard. So that is sitting there. The only way for me to get rid of that is to have a champion in play, expend him to go in. Basically, I'm saying, dude, go get rid of those tables and chairs for me. Clean up in aisle 5. Now the question is, do I have... Oh, I do. And it's... Oh, I've got 2. Okay. I have options here. So I do have 2 champions that'll come into play.
Okay, that's good.
And I have flexibility. Actually, not even flexibility. I have 2 champions, which means my prayer beads.
You're the champion.
So again, 2 champions. This would normally be 2 gold or 5 healing, but at the bottom it does state that if I have 2 in play, I get both of those, which is fantastic.
That's so good. Do you have enough to get that one you've been eyeing?
I'm not even worried about money right now.
Yeah.
I want to get you healed up. You're down to 27, I'm down to
Right.
33. But I cannot heal with these broken tables and chairs in front of me. So
Right.
the first thing I have to do is expend one of these to go clear that out. So I'm going to expend the Street Thug to get rid of the broken tables and chairs. So I can no longer trigger what's on that card because they're already expended. Then I will trigger the 5 healing over to you.
Yep, so from
you're up
27 to 32.
32, excellent. Then I'll worry about damage next. So 3 from that champion plus another 2 from my spiked mace is 5. That goes... I do double damage.
Double damage.
4 goes over there.
Wahaha.
Goodbye, bartender. I love what you do. I love your work, but goodbye.
Gotta go.
And
Gotta
then
go.
1 goes to the champion. And that leaves me with 3 to spend. There's just the 1 action. Actually, that's a good action for me, though.
for
So
you.
I'll take that. I have 1 left. That's it.
That's 2.
Okay. I would say that was a productive turn.
That was a very good turn.
I will take that. That's me.
All right.
Over to you.
Okay. Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
Oh, here we go.
So
That's the 3rd mastery card,
Third
so
one.
it's about to level up. I'll show you how that works.
right.
But
So
first,
let's resolve the green, which is damage. I'm going to take 2 hits and discard a card. So now I'm at 30. From
Okay.
32 to 30. And I have to discard a card. So I'm just going to discard money card, which is generic money.
Okay.
And did you want to go with that before I do my turn?
Yep. So it has leveled up.
Uh-oh.
So like I was saying, those 3 diamonds, and that is a representation of the diamonds that are on these cards. It's just a smaller version. So it shows you if you get 3 of those, it's going to level up to level 2, which means we flip it over to the other side. So shows you here, it's level 2. Here means every time the master goes, it's going to draw 2 cards now. Instead of 1, we're going to have to resolve 2 cards at a time. And these abilities get a little bit stronger. So for example, the yellow, instead of healing 2, it's going to heal 3. Instead of, for the red, instead of dealing 3 damage, it's going to deal 4. So on and so forth. So it's just gotten a little bit stronger, but the worst part of that is we have to draw 2 cards at a time as we're every turn.
Why do I feel this is not going to go well?
Okay, and it did change its preferred ability. So it used to be red, which was 3 damage. Now its preferred ability is blue, which is 2 damage and stun your highest champion. Then you take any of the mastery cards that had been used to level it up. They go into the discard pile. And over to you.
Okay. Oh, I've got lots happening here. At least I have a champion in play. And I'm going to add another champion in play. My kitty cat's back.
Okay. Was that champion from the last round?
Yes,
Did you take some damage?
I did.
You did. And it was green? It
Yes.
was 2 damage and discard a card?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't actually take any damage.
No, because
Take
it
that
goes
back?
here.
Yep.
Yep. I keep forgetting that. I'm
Yep,
so sorry,
that's all right.
everyone.
Well, you don't have champions in play very
No,
often.
so this
It's
is why
easier
when I
for
have
me
them, it's
because I
weird,
always
so
have
yeah.
champions. So I'll show you what just happened. So with the green card that Mandi pulled, she was supposed to take 2 damage. This champion is a guard with 3 defense, which means it does not get through, because the same way that we have to deal the
Righto.
full amount to remove a minion that has, if it had 4 defense, we would have to deal 4 damage. The master has to do the same. So with a guard that has 3 defense, none of the 2 damage actually gets through. Now, if it was, actually, now that you have 2 of them,
Yeah.
both types. So there's the comparison. That is a guard, which means all damage must go here first. That is a non-guard champion. So if this was what was up, then the damage could have gone directly to Mandi because the guard wasn't there.
Right. All right. So I have 1 gold.
And everything counts right now. So
No, 1
Yeah.
gold, and I have 9 combat plus. I can get a bit
Ooh.
more here. I get 9,
nice.
10, 11, 12. So I can do a total of 12 damage if I go that route.
Yep.
I have 1 gold. However, I don't see me getting anything else unless it's this, because the fire gem, because I think this is better for you than it is for me.
Agreed.
So it's a bit of a waste to use money here.
Or you could use money from this to trigger that and draw.
That's also true. So,
Not saying it's the right move,
right.
just saying it's a move. It's a possibility.
You know what? We might as well, because I've done a shuffle now at this point, and I might be
Okay.
able to trigger another.
Yep, you might get some
Ability.
good combinations going.
So if we do that,
Yeah.
flip my wizard. I'm also going to take a hit.
Yeah,
So from
and
32 to 31.
Your familiar is
Yep. Is
expended.
also expended. A lot of expending happened. So this has been spent.
Yep.
Just put that there for now.
Okay,
Okay, get to draw
What
a
you
card.
got?
Let's see.
Necros.
If you have 2 or more actions in play, draw a card. I do.
Do you?
I do.
Nice.
These two are actions.
So now we're getting some of the combinations going.
Yes, here
Draw
we go.
another card.
It's going
Basic
so
money,
well.
yeah.
Ugh.
All right. But
All
you
right.
got some more damage out of it.
Right. So with that being said, this is really not going to do anything for me. But now we're at 7, 9, 10, and technically do this for 12.
Perfect. 12 damage puts the master down to 9.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go, and that's going to be the end of my turn.
I like it.
Yes.
So we're looking at, I'm at 33. You're at 31.
Right.
The master is at 9. Okay, what do we got? And now we do have a leveled up master, so things are going to get a little bit harder. So first we have red, which is 4 damage. Straight up 4 damage.
What?
So I'll show the order here, and it's just
Wow.
a mastery card. So I don't actually have anything to deal with here. It does not go beyond level 2. It has no more leveling up to do. So I only have to deal with the color of the ability. So it's 4 damage. I do not have any guard champions, which means the damage would go to me if it could kill me this turn. But it cannot. I'm at 33. So we go back to looking at the non-guard champions. Dealing 4 damage, they are both 4 defense. I get to choose which one it removes. If there was a case where it would be a tie between multiple players, then you would go in order based on active player first and then going clockwise around the table. But if you're looking at cards on one player, then that player chooses which one. Goodbye, Street Thug.
No?
Let me look at my hand first. Let's see
Yeah,
if I have any
that would be
combinations.
good.
Goodbye, Street Thug. Okay. So that is gone. That is no longer a relevant card.
Yeah.
And I get to play. Okay, we have 9 damage to deal. Let me see.
I don't know why a song came into my head when you did that. No, 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 no.
I think we might be there. So let's see here. I do have another Necros card to play. So playing that with the secondary ability, with the Necros faction combination, I get to draw a card based on that champion.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, we're there. So I've got 3 damage. Plus 2 and 4 would be another 7 damage. Plus
Ooh.
1 is 8 damage. Plus 1 is 9 damage. That's all we need. But I could do another 6 for 15 damage. It's irrelevant. We've defeated that master. Okay, so story time.
I was all excited about my hand, too.
But you can see where it started off slow because we're just dealing with our basic decks. But as we built up some cards, made our deck stronger, then we could get a roll going. But at the same time, the master leveled up and was going to start doing some more punishing things.
Yes.
I need to draw another card.
That's right. You didn't draw 2 cards.
Because, like I was just saying, it leveled up. Hold
Wait,
on.
hold
on.
We didn't win. Somebody
Yep.
only
I
drew
am
1
not
card.
going to take a cheating win. So
No, we got to do this properly. So
Yep.
rewind.
that was the card I drew. Okay. I need to deal a second card. Hold
Okay.
on. I'm glad I caught that because, yeah.
I was too busy looking at the comments. I need to pay attention.
Okay. I have broken tables and chairs. But before that, I do have to deal the white, which means its preferred ability. Oh, this may change things.
Oh, no.
Okay, he was a 9. Let's see. So I do 2 damage to myself. He cannot remove that champion because it has 4 defense. So the 2 goes to me. I'm down to 31.
Mm-hmm.
I caught that just in time, eh? And then stun my highest champion, which means that is gone. Oh boy. And it's broken tables and chairs, which means unless I can get a champion in play to remove that for me, I cannot do any damage to the master. Oh, that may have been a premature cheer, eh?
Oh, well. We'll see what happens. I'm sure it'll be all right.
I know what you're saying. Okay, so I do have 1 champion. I'm going to get him in play, and I'm going to expend him right away. Get rid of those tables and chairs.
Okay, that's done.
I no longer have the combination with the Necros cards because that champion isn't here to trigger the extra abilities. But I can sacrifice a card in my hand or discard pile.
Okay.
Which, you know what? In this case, I don't wish to. There's nothing weak enough that I'd want to sacrifice. So I'm going to just forego that ability. I do not have to. That is a may. Then I have 2 fire gems,
Okay.
which will be spending 4, and I'm going to discard those to get some more damage. But 7 is not enough to do it, which means you're going to get the glory out of this, and I'm okay with that.
Look at
But before we get to that,
yes.
so I have my recruit action. I get 3 healing plus 1 for each champion I have in play. So a total of 4 healing. You go ahead and take that.
Oh, don't mind if I do. It's up to 35.
That's 4 healing. That's done. And then I have 6 to spend.
Can you finally get that one you've been eyeballing?
I can get that champion. It's not this one,
No,
but that works. That's fine. So I'll get that. And then I will discard these for 6, and that would make 8 damage. Which puts it down to 1. So close. So 1 damage. Sorry, 1 health left. That is me. Go ahead.
But I still have to draw 2
You still have to
here.
draw 2 cards, yes.
Okay, the first one, Runos Enforcer, Minion Human Fanatic, and it's an elite, actually.
Okay.
Yep, so this is going to be taking 5 damage, but first I need to resolve
Yep.
the yellow, which is healing of 3.
Okay. Okay. Now, elite, before I shuffle
Yes.
this is, Runos Enforcer. So again, it says the type at the top here. So this is an elite. Yes, sorry. So it's a minion, and down here has the elite keyword. And elite says that you put this minion into the master's area. All elites go here, and they're going to attack each person on their turn. So you saw before we were putting minions in front of ourselves. Those were just basic minions, and they would only attack the active player when they're active in front of them. But an elite minion will attack each player on their turn. So you want to get rid of those as quickly as possible.
Sure do.
Plus, that is a guard with defense 5. We can't do any damage to the master until we get rid of that guard. So things got a little tricky here. Now,
I still have to, so
you don't resolve
not
this
until
yet.
at the end. We have
Yeah.
one more to draw.
So Mandy still has to draw a second card.
Oh, boy.
I am glad that as much as, this is making things a little tricky, I'm glad I caught that when I did.
Yeah, before we started packing it all up and moving on.
So, yeah, like I was saying, things got a little harder. We're getting stronger, but things got a little harder. And I'm glad I said that out loud because that's what triggered. Oh, yeah, I need to draw 2 cards. All right.
Oh, it says here, do all master effects. Master combat is saved. Then he does his villainous attacks at end of turn.
Yeah. So you're not triggering this yet.
So I've done the, exactly, the little circle at the top, which is the yellow, but I haven't done this yet. Yeah,
correct.
Exactly. So now I have the Biting Imp. Lovely. And when you play a Necros card, stun this minion, and then turn to discard, and then discard an item.
Yep.
So first, let's
first
resolve
thing-
this.
Oh, yes, the blue.
Yeah, which is that 2? Yeah,
Yep.
so 2 damage, and then stun your highest champion. So let's take 2, so I'm 35 to 33.
Yep.
My highest champion is going to be this one here.
Yep, which is a guard, unfortunately.
Yes. No, stunned. It's
stunned.
gone.
It's
yeah,
gone.
stunned.
Yep.
Gone.
then
And
we
now
go
we're going to do
here.
this. So that's, 5 big ones.
So first is going to be that for 2.
For 2. Bye. And then 3 left,
to
so
you.
which is a straight 30.
Yep. Then he's going to go. So that was him.
Yep.
Now
And
he's
then
going to
this
go.
is going to be discard a card. Which, thank goodness, I had something here,
Okay.
which is great.
And it's discard an item. Yeah, and that is an item. So
Yeah.
that's good. So that refreshes.
Right.
That refreshes.
And
Now
I'm
it's over
not
to
even
you.
able to get rid of it, but it may not matter shortly. I say that now, maybe it will. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, it might.
Yeah, you're going to have to do a lot of damage to get through all of this.
Okay. Let's just...
yeah, that was a premature celebration on my part.
Okay, so here I have 3 damage. Target opponent discards a card.
Okay.
And this is straight 5 damage. However, I'm going to get 2 extra monies because my guild factions are matching.
I'll show those as a pair.
These
Now that
2
you
here?
have 2, yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
So when you have 2 matching factions, so in this case there are 2 guild factions coming into play, that's when you get to trigger these abilities at the bottom with the faction color at the bottom. So normally the base ability for this card, which is Intimidation, it's 5 damage, but now that Mandy's playing a guild faction card along with it, it will also get her 2 gold. And this one will also do what? Put the next action that she acquires on top of her deck, which is nice.
Just a nice little treat.
Mm-hmm.
So that's good. And then this is giving me extra money. So right now, damage-wise, I'm just quickly doing a calculation. 3, 5, so it's 10.
Okay.
And then money-wise, I have 5. And then the next action acquired goes on top of your deck. However, there's a lot happening
There
right
is.
now.
So let's deal with the damage first.
Yeah,
You
let's
said
do
you have
damage.
10 damage.
10.
So the first thing is you have to deal with what's in front of
Yeah,
you.
which is 4.
Yep.
So that's gone.
That leaves 6. So it'd be nice to do the 6 right to the master, because
Yeah.
that would kill the master. But the master has that guard minion in play.
Correct.
So 5 of it goes there, which leaves 1. It's down to 3. It's down to 3.
Oh, that's so sad.
So that was the damage. Let's go with the ability next. So it's the target opponent discards a card.
Yes, discards a card.
So that's where we get to look at the top and decide whether we want to keep it on top or discard it.
Those generally
Temporary
can't be good.
insanity.
Oh, no, those are the ones where you can do the attack.
I
Right?
would end up doing damage to you. You're okay for health.
Right.
It could be worse.
That's true.
It
So
could be worse.
maybe we should leave that.
Yeah, I'm going to leave that.
Yeah. I was thinking of the other one, the
The barricade.
Barricade,
broken,
exactly.
broken tables and chairs. Yeah,
exact. Oh, fireball.
that's true.
And you know what? I totally could have done
yeah,
it
you
at
know
this
what?
time.
You still can. It's still your turn. Excellent point. So
I know. Why do I always
hadn't-
forget about that one?
Because we usually wait until we have a lot of
Like a
minions.
ton of them,
that we
exactly,
need to get
before we
rid of.
use
So before we trigger yours,
Yes.
I'll show you mine. So I showed you the skills.
And I still
We
have
each
money.
have a skill and we each have an ability. So my ability is Resurrect. And the text on that says, I can put a champion from my discard pile into play, and I can use this ability only on a champion that was stunned since my last turn. So at the start of my turn, the master's getting rid of my minions that are here, or sorry, my champions that are here, and usually quite easily just by an ability to stun, doesn't even have to do the damage. So if I had a strong one that got discarded, I could, this is a one-time use, remove that from the game and bring it back into play at one of those key moments where I need that in play for any combinations. But more importantly, Mandi's one-time ability here is Fireball, as you saw in chat. Fireball. And the way this works is you're going to target an area. Now, an area is either a player's area, where there would be potentially minions in front, your own area, or the master's area. Deal 4 damage to each master and minion in target area. Now, we've had a game where Mandi pulled that off very successfully, dealing damage to 3 different minions and the master all at once, which was fantastic. In this case, all we need is 3 damage. That does 4.
It's a wrap.
Done.
And it's done.
We survived. All right, good call on the fireball.
I know,
for sure.
yeah. Well, hence the reason it came from White Wizard Games.
Yes.
So.
We've got experts in the
appropriate.
chat. That's fantastic. Okay, so I'm going to read a story at this point, and then I'll show you how you carry on into the next one.
Yeah. So we're not just going to end it here. We're
No.
going to continue a little bit more.
We'll push on one more so you can see what happens when you've leveled up your character. a
Right.
bit.
Exactly.
All right, so when encounter ends, you go to Chapter 2. Chapter 2, Bar Fight Conclusion. If all players are defeated, you lose the encounter, you may try again. You just go back to Chapter 1. But we did reduce the Master's health to 0. We win the encounter, and we're going to collect some rewards. Ooh, goody goody. With the regulars and several of the mysterious cloaked figures now unconscious at your feet, you take a moment to relieve the cloaked villains of their weapons and treasure. Then with a quick gulp, you down the remains of your drink, that's important, and rush out of the tavern, giving chase to the remaining cloaked figures. So first off, we have our rewards. We shuffle 5 elixirs, so there are 5 elixirs here. And as I said at the start, you're going to have your inventory, and that's where your skill, ability, and these cards would go. So 5 different elixirs that do 5 different things. So you've got red, blue, green, so on and so forth. We're going to shuffle these. We each get 1, and they will go into our inventory for the next round. But they are they're temporary. It's use them or lose them at the end of the next encounter.
LARP it, Michael. Chug that drink.
That's true.
These
I
were
could
the
chug
ones.
that down. That's yours.
Oh, this one mine. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I was so busy reading this comment.
I won't chug. I will enjoy, but
Sorry. That was great.
yeah, just dripping down my face. If I'm gonna role play it, yeah, for sure.
That's wonderful. Sorry. Oh, that's fantastic.
So, shuffle the 5 elixirs together, randomly deal 1 to each player, put the remaining elixirs back in the box. I'll cover what those elixirs do when we start the next round, so those will be ours to use. Then each player finds a class treasure. So, we will be shuffling are class treasures. Each character in the campaign deck gets 4 of these class treasures, which are identified by these treasure chests that are in the... I'm always looking at this backwards, and you'd think I'd know by now, after almost a year of doing this. In the top right corner, there are these treasure chests. These indicate the class treasures. So it will also say on them. So this is the Cleric Champion class treasures, and Mandi will have her own deck.
Yes.
So we're going to be shuffling these, drawing 1, and we get to add that treasure to our personal deck. Depending on which card you get, it may actually replace a card in your deck. So yours are here.
Thank you. There's my new cards.
Those are the 4 treasure cards.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
shuffle those up, take 1.
Yeah.
I'll let you find my treasure.
My shovel hasn't.
Okay.
Not as fancy. Hold on. Okay, that's good enough. I don't even know what they all
That's
are
fine.
anyway.
Yeah, that's fine. It's 4 cards. It's not
Right.
easy to randomize 4 cards.
Exactly.
So I found Redeemed Ruinos. So it's one of the bad guys that's actually come back to the good side. He is he's a champion, which is nice. And when he becomes stunned, I get to draw a card. That's fantastic. I haven't actually received this one yet.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So it's another champion that I get to put in my deck. It's not replacing any cards, but if it was, it would show a text box on the card showing that it would replace. If Mandi's isn't one of those, I'll show you one of mine
It
that does
is,
that.
actually.
Okay, good.
So
So that's going to be going into my deck to start the next
I have the
round.
serpentine staff.
Serpentine Staff. So it does say it's worth 1, first of all, but it says here that it replaces gold. So one of those basic gold cards in Mandi's starting deck is actually going to get removed from her deck and replaced by this. But it also deals 2 damage to each minion in target area, which is great.
Pretty
And then it
sweet.
has a
Thank you.
slight change for player versus player. We're not going to cover that right now.
Right.
I'll discuss that a bit later. But so that's going to be going into your deck. So you could remove
Yep,
one of
I
the
already
gold
have the
cards.
gold
Yeah,
there.
so that
Yeah,
can just stay out.
good.
Excellent. Okay. So that would be our rewards for this this encounter. Next, we go to the next encounter, Chapter 3, and it does have a note here that you can replay the encounters as many times as you wish, but you can only get the reward once per success. You can't just keep replaying the first one to try and get all 4 class treasures. You can only get them once.
So Mike's new champion went into his draw deck or discard. Oh, yes. We haven't gotten to that yet.
No, we're going to
Yeah.
be rebuilding our decks.
So White
So-
Wizards responded, you reset the decks.
Yes. So I will be rebuilding our deck. So right now I just have it set aside, but I'll show you how you rebuild your deck.
Yeah.
But we're going to carry on. So Chapter 3, Encounter 2, The Chase. As you burst through the front door of the inn, you see some of the mysterious cloaked figures dragging a young man through the street. The man struggles, but a stiff blow to the head ends his resistance. You suspect the magically induced bar fight was just a diversion to cover the abduction of this patron. You start to give chase, but at the first intersection, the cloaked figures split up and flee down different streets. The first group is led by a human male. The second seems to be following a large imp. You can't see which group has the young man. So now we've got branching story. If we want to follow the human group, we go to Chapter 4, and if we want to follow the imps group, we go to Chapter 5. Human?
Yeah, I'm thinking
Imp.
that
Human?
human might
All right.
be the way to go.
And just out of order, you know, we're going to Chapter 3, let's just go to Chapter 4. That's the human, we'll follow the human. So we're going to fight the Ruinos Zealot, is Chapter 4. So we're going to set up for Encounter 2 with the Ruinos Zealot as the master. So we're no longer in the bar.
Yep.
That's going to come out, and excuse my reach.
Yep.
We have the Ruinos Zealot coming in. So this is our new master. And again, you've got level 1 and drawing 1 card every time it draws cards, and its corresponding abilities based on the colors that get drawn.
Yes.
So it comes in at level 1. And let's see here. Level 1, yep, Master's deck. So now we're going to be using the encounter cards marked with a 2. So as I was showing when we set up the deck originally for the Master, we were using the Encounter 1 cards. Now we're going to use Encounter 2. So there is going to be a slight reset that's going to happen here. So we're using Encounter 2. And it's going to start with 65 health. And it says,
Ooh.
defeat him quickly lest he lose you in a maze of Thandar's winding streets.
Wow.
So a bit more story that I'll read before I reset. You race through the winding streets after the group. Once you're within shouting distance, you call out, "Necros, stand and fight!" The leader stops and slowly turns towards you. He lowers his hood and spits. "Necros?" He shows you his jagged teeth. He holds out an arm and a small imp perched on his shoulders. The Necros are cowards. They see demons as power, and power is all they seek. And what do you seek, you ask? His smile widens. Ruin. All right, there we go.
Yoinks.
So that's setting the scene. Now to set the decks.
Yes, I'm gonna go through this.
This is going to get
rid of my
shuffled.
stuffs here.
So it's easy to spot the cards that were in your base deck because they do not have a cost in the top right corner. So if I was looking through,
Here. Oh, okay,
so
go
if
on.
I did this, if I was sorting through these cards, you can see at a glance, these two cards are starting deck cards. So what you're doing at this point is you're removing all of these starting deck cards.
Okay, these ones are for market. There we go. These are my regular cards.
And then you should have your starting deck for the first scenario was 10 cards. I had put a card in without having to remove one, so I should have 11 here I should have 11 here if I found them all correctly. And I do. You actually replaced a card, so
Yeah.
you should have 10.
Exactly. So why do I have one too many?
Did you put your elixir out in your inventory?
Oh, maybe that's what it was. Hold
And
on.
it should have a treasure icon.
It's here. These, right?
Yep.
So what should I have removed? So I removed a money.
Yep. And how many cards do you have there?
This is 9.
This should be in
Oh,
your
that's
deck.
out.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
That
I'm
should
like,
be-
why is that there?
No, the elixir
Yes,
should be out.
and then this
and that
should be
in.
here.
So you've got 10 cards there
Yes,
now?
that's right. That replaces the gold.
Yep.
This is 10. This stays.
There you
Yep.
go. So Mandy's got 10 cards to start because the class treasure that she found did replace a card, whereas mine just gets added to my deck. So now I'm starting with 11 cards.
So that still stays. That's that's right. Because the last time we played it, this changed.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, and these are market cards.
Yep, I'll give that a shuffle
Yeah,
in
okay,
a second.
no problem.
So that's shuffled. So I said this starts with 65 health.
Yeah. And then we have to shuffle these, I guess. Too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I need to rebuild
Well,
that.
redo it. Yeah,
Yep.
exactly.
Okay, so encounter 2 cards are going to come in. All of the encounter 1 cards are out. And I put these over here.
Mhm.
Okay, so the setup is the exact same as I said before. You've got 5 mastery cards. The setting cards are going to get shuffled. So I'd set them aside. So I'm going to draw, it'll be the same number. So technically it's 9. Get removed, which means I'm going to be left with 4. So I'm just going to draw the 4 cards.
Yes, there's a lot of fancy card work. Shuffling, not done by me by any stretch of the imagination.
All right.
But
So 4 cards, which is the 9 that get set aside in a 2-player game. So those go aside. Those 4 will get shuffled with the encounter 2 cards. So like I showed at the start, bottom left corner has 1, 2, or 3. This encounter says you're using 2.
excuse me.
So those will get shuffled with these.
Mhm.
And then once they're shuffled, I split them into the 5 decks again with any extras going in the middle and then distributing the mastery cards.
My goodness, there's lots of shuffling.
All
I
right.
wish I could help you out here.
I'll get there. So 3 cards left, that goes into the middle, and then these mastery cards will get shuffled 1 into each pile. And then each individual pile shuffled, which is difficult with 3 cards. I basically
Yeah.
just shuffle until I realize I can't remember where that card is. And then, yeah, that's good enough. It's like playing the shell game with yourself.
So I'm curious to see what people think so far of the differences in the campaign versus, the original game. Are you liking it? Are you not liking it? I mean, there are other elements of the game we're going to talk about at the end that we're not playing with, so you can definitely stay tuned for that part as well.
Yep. Yeah, I actually enjoy the campaign. I like getting to play with other people in this.
Of course.
I like the competitive as well. I do play a lot of Star Realms. I still play the Star Realms app quite a bit.
I know. I kill that.
Okay, so starting with 65, we have its deck. This was my deck, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep, that's my starting deck, and then I need to shuffle these.
Mark it. Yes. Mark it down.
Almost there.
Oh, no worries.
And then I'll explain. Actually, do you want to read out what your elixir does?
Indubitably. So, Elixir of Strength is an inventory item. You have this item for the next encounter only. It begins play in your inventory, and it's worth 3 combat.
So it does state that it starts in your
Yeah.
inventory, which means it doesn't go into your deck or into your hand. It starts in your area,
And it's
along with your skill and ability. One-time use.
Yeah.
And use it or lose it. It's going to be gone at the end of this encounter, whether you've
Yeah.
used it or not. So they're not overpowering elixirs, but they can be key at certain times where, say there was a really strong minion in Mandi's area that she needed to get rid of, like that bartender.
right.
It was 8, and she had
Which is
6,
insane.
which was not enough, which means the 6 damage she could do is wasted. But if she had that elixir, that's 3 more that she can do once. It would have been enough to get rid of it.
Precisely.
I'll deal these out, and then I'll let you know what my elixir does. Okay, so I have the elixir of concentration.
Okay.
I can sacrifice a card in my hand. So one-time use, if I've got, it's probably going to be used for just those single gold cards. If I have one in my hand that isn't serving any purpose, I could trigger that just to get it out and sacrifice it.
Right.
All right. And then it's always the player to the master's left that starts. Or I think it states it in the manual, it's whoever has the master to their right, but same thing.
Yep.
So I will start.
Oh, I guess we start these over.
Yes, we reset
Yeah.
our health.
And I'm at 50.
And I'm at 55.
55. Yeah.
Now there are ways to adjust your starting health. We'll get into that at the end of this game. Hopefully with a wind, and we will earn it. But either way, I will describe it. All right, so starting with me. Well, let's see. Master,
Yep.
what do you got? Oh, right away. White.
Uh-huh.
Its favorite ability, in this case, is yellow. Fanatics have +2 defense this turn.
Oh, wow.
So the minions, there are some minions that are going to be in the deck that are called Fanatics. It'll have that keyword underneath the name.
Yes.
They're going to have increased defense. There are none out, so that's okay. And that's the first experience point already.
Right at the
Yeah,
start.
that's 1/3 of its experience. Bright side, I don't have to deal with anything right now.
True.
And I have 4 basic gold, plus my prayer beads, which would be 2 gold or 5 healing. So let's see, is there anything worth 6?
Just the 5
I'm
here.
going to look for champions. So this 4 could get me this champion.
And then this is a 2. Yeah.
So I'll start with that.
Okay. Oh, hello.
8. Wow.
It always comes out after that.
So I'm grabbing an Imperial Faction Darien War Mage for 4, and then I think I will grab that as well. Might as well, yep. So another champion for 2. So I just bought 2 champions, and again, my deck thrives on champions, so that's not a bad start, I'd say. Yeah. Over to you.
All right, let's start with this first. So Twisting Bolt, Action Curse. Woo! Let's first start by, I will read the bottom, but let's do the blue first.
Sure.
And the blue here does stun the highest champion among all players.
Among all players. Ooh, so you can see where we're on to the next encounter.
Yeah.
That's already a stronger ability. It's not just yours, and if you have none, it doesn't matter. It's among all players.
I have none.
Now, that's where I was saying that if there was a tie, so say Mandi had a champion with 4 defense and I had a champion with 4 defense,
Yep.
ties are resolved, in that case starting with the active player. So it would be Mandi's champion that is gone. If it's a tie among your own cards, then you get to choose.
Right. So
Okay.
I don't have any champions.
So no effect on
you
that.
You don't have any, so that's
great.
Now, here at the bottom it says, this deals 10 damage to you.
Huzzah!
A nearby player may choose to suffer the damage instead. So
Okay, so we get to choose.
I
Now,
mean,
nearby, again, we're playing 2 players, so we're going to be nearby each other.
right.
It could go to Mandy, it could go to me. I'll take it.
Okay.
I'll take it because I am the healer.
Slightly.
I have more abilities for healing. I can heal nearby players, but sometimes there's scenarios where you can't. Like when we were in that bar fight, if there was going to be the broken tables and chairs either in my area or in Mandy's, that would mean I would not be able to get through to heal Mandy up. So I know I always have the ability to heal myself. I don't necessarily always have it for you. So I'll take the hit to that. So I'm down to 45.
Okay, so
That's a tough one.
Yeah, that one was
That's punishing.
rough.
Yeah.
So let's see here. I've got a bit of money. So that's 3 monies. And I have, a champion. And I have 2 damage. But I could ideally add that as well.
Okay.
So let's just see what's there for money-wise. Yeah, so really I could take this one. This is what I had last time.
Yep.
Bribe action, which gives 3. And it only costs 3. So I think that should be a nice one.
That's a start.
Yeah, we'll start somewhere.
And that does leave you the potential for 1 if you wanted, because there is the death touch for 1.
Fits card 2. Which is nice to get in that early if I decide to use this, which I shall, and I'll take that.
Very good.
Oop, that should not have happened. There we go. And it leaves me with 2 combat.
Okay.
So take
2 here.
Yep.
Down to 63.
All right, that refreshes.
We're winning.
No. Oh, goodness.
Somebody that called the win early on the last one, I should not be saying that at all.
Yes.
Okay, over to me. We go to the master first. We have a clinging imp.
Oh, that can't be good.
No, it can't be. So first it's blue, which we said was stun the highest champion among all players.
I think I'm the only one with a champion, so bye.
Gone. And clinging imp says that, again, this is an imp, like in the first scenario. If I play a Necros card, I can stun this minion. But it does come into play and discard a card that costs 1 or more. So it's going to start getting rid of our valuable cards.
Yep. We want to get rid of that.
On the bright side, because it is so early in the game, I do not have a single card that cost any money because I'm still working from my base cards. So that actually has no effect on me. Let's see. I have
here
a champion that comes into play. I have 2 champions that come into play. So it's my starting follower plus my class treasure that I found, the redeemed Runos. So he's here to fight with me. And when he becomes stunned, I get to draw a card. 2 healing. I think I will take that because I took that 10-point hit before.
Right. Give me a little extra.
That puts me back to 47. And I can do 3 damage. So that follower does 1. My spiked mace does another 2. So the clinging imp is gone.
Oh.
That leaves me with 2 gold. What can I get with this much monies?
There's a 1.
That's not bad with the Imperial faction. So that's taxation, an action card. And that leaves me with 1 that does not do anything. So, like I was saying, the Elixir of Concentration would probably be used on a card like this. There's 1 gold left that I'm not spending. I'm going to trash or sacrifice this card to sacrifice another card from my hand.
Oh,
so that's not bad. My deck just got a little more efficient as well. These guys refresh. Over to you.
Okay, so I'll go here first. Runos Vampire, Minion Vampire Fanatic. So let's do this first. Stun the highest champion among all players. Do you have champions?
There are 2 champions. They are both 1s, and because it's tied amongst myself, I get to choose which one. Now, technically, I draw first, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I get to choose, so he's gone. Back to you.
Okay, so that happened. Now I have to resolve the bottom portion here. So that's 4 hits to me and 4 health.
Nice.
No,
sorry.
no.
Other way. Yeah.
Other way.
Sorry. I was thinking 4.
I'm taking.
Okay, so 4 hits to you.
Yes, and then
and 4 health to him.
correct.
So he's back up to 67.
So
That's
46. I just read the chat and they're like 4 hours for this set. I'm like, what? No, all at once. So technically this would have happened.
Yep.
And then now we're done here. So this.
Yeah, we're not
happens.
playing through the entire campaign.
No,
we don't want to.
no.
We don't want to spoil everything, but we want you to see how it is played.
Right.
So we're gonna end at the end of this encounter.
Okay, so now I have 1 monies, but we'll put everything out so we can see what we have here.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, this is kind of good. So if you have 2 or more actions in play, draw a card with an action
at least
here.
1.
That's the only one.
That's it. I only want.
Yeah,
okay.
just starting out. So unfortunately, but money-wise, I have 1, 2, 3, plus this gives me the discount, and this is deal 2 damage to each minion in target area. So this is going to be in addition to what I have.
Okay, which is good because otherwise you wouldn't have enough.
Exactly, because I have
So-
3 here,
Yeah.
and then this is going to be, so it would be a total for 5.
So right now, Mandy's combat that's available is 3, and it has a defense of 4. And again, can't go anywhere else without dealing with the minion that is in front. But the class treasure that Mandy got deals +2 to each minion in the target area. So the combat won't. It could carry over because you can do.
Yeah, so technically I
and
could do
2
2
is
and 2.
4.
Yeah, and then this would be what's
And
left.
then the +1 carrying over. Yep.
So maybe let's just do that now and get
Sounds
that all
good.
sorted. So
that's gone.
that's
and
gone.
1 is 66.
yeah, so these have been used, and this is still going to give me 1, 2, 3 plus discount, but I don't think it's going to help me in this case.
So we're looking for actions.
Yeah, that's a champion. This I can't afford, so it really is the only thing I can afford.
Yeah, wow,
really.
we have an expensive market.
Yeah,
This might be a problem until we can start building some money up.
yeah. So I'm going to take this for 3. That's the champion,
So it leaves you 1.
which,
Does it leave you 1?
well, it's
It
1,
leaves
2,
you 1
3.
if it was
Right.
an action. Yeah. So
Right.
if there was a 1-cost action,
But there
Mandy would
isn't,
be able to buy it.
unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's going to be the end of my
Okay.
turn.
At least you got rid of that minion that was out there.
Oh yeah, that was pretty rough.
Okay. So let's start with Master. There it is. Again, leveling
Oh
up.
my goodness,
That's already
it's
2 of 3.
so close.
First off, green is flip again. So it's going to get another card. Oh boy. And it's a clinging imp. Okay, so this can go here. And red is I have -1 gold this turn. So I'm going to have to
Ooh.
spend 1 extra
One
gold to get something big. I've got 1 less.
So while you're playing that, I'm actually
Yes.
just going to
Sure.
blow my nose.
Yep.
I'll be right back.
So if again, this is an imp, so if I play a Necros card, I get to stun it. Its ability is discard a card that costs 1 or more. So this is the one that starts getting the cards that we pay for out of our hand. And I have no choice to make here. So looking at my hand, there's only 1 card there that costs money. So that card gets discarded, which is unfortunate because obviously that was a strong card. So that is him. So like I said, with the green ability, for this Ruinous Zealot, the action is flip again. That's why I had to draw another card. All right, let's see here. I have some flexibility with those prayer beads, but I don't have... I do have a champion in play. But only 1 and 2. Okay, there we go. So prayer beads, I'm going to get to use both abilities like you saw in the first encounter because I do have 2 champions in play. So let's see here. 47, 46. Okay. Redeemed Ruinos is going to heal for 2, and the prayer beads are going to heal for 5. Would you like to take 7 health?
7 health.
Absolutely.
Oh, I leave for a minute to blow my nose, and I get 7 health.
You
Okay,
do.
I'll take it. Oh, so that's going to bring me to 53.
Yes, it is. And then I can do 1 damage, but I do have that imp in the way, which means I can't go beyond that imp, and I don't have enough to get rid of it. And that leaves me with 4 to spend. Wow, options are slim. I'll take the recruit action for 2. That leaves me 2. That shouldn't be there. I should have counted that first. When you're resetting the deck, all fire gems should be in this pile, and there's 16 of them. I usually like to get into the habit of counting those whenever I reset so that I know that they're all there. But if you pull one from here, it obviously shouldn't be there. It should be there. So I have 2 left, and you know what? I'm actually going to buy a fire gem. So I got that. So those are done, and these guys are done. Over to you.
Okay. So yes, those who saw me leave, I'm back.
Welcome
Invisibility cloak. Just kidding. Okay, before I do anything here, let's start here. Biting Imp. So let me resolve this portion with the yellow.
Sure.
Fanatics have +2 this turn. And when you play a Necros card, we stun this minion, and I discard an item.
So do we have any Fanatics? I don't think we have any in play yet, but we did have some. So I'm going to take one from the discard pile so you can see. That ability that Mandy was mentioning says Fanatics have +2.
Right.
This Ruinous Vampire does actually, I know it's hard to see on the camera, but underneath the name does actually state the keywords Vampire Fanatic. So if this was still in play, it would now have, I think you said +2?
Correct.
To defense? Yeah, so instead of 4, it would be 6, and they get a little more difficult to get rid of.
Oh boy.
But right now, we're only dealing with imps, so that's okay.
So I need to discard an item. So I'm going to discard a gold, which is an item.
Sounds good.
That's going to go bye-bye. And, ooh, boy. Let's see what we've got. A couple things happening here. So, yeah, not a lot of money. Let's start with that.
Well, damage right now would be good. We're both sitting with an imp in front of us, and they are not fun.
That's true. However, it says 2, and you may sacrifice a card in your hand or discard pile.
Nice.
So I could technically get rid of this.
Might as well.
And, yeah, clogging up the old hand. That's going to go bye-bye.
Yep.
+2 here for combat and another 2. So we have a total of 2, 4, 6 for combat and 1 money. Nothing here.
Okay.
There really isn't anything here I can do.
Nope.
So it's going to be 6, which I think I'm going to
So
push
4
here
goes
for
there.
4.
Yep. That's a must. You have to.
And then I have 2
you have
remaining.
2 left.
Can that be?
He's
is that
3?
Oh, he's 3.
Which is awkward.
I missed it, so I wasn't sure if it was the double.
Yeah. No,
attack.
it's not. It's not. So you said 2 left.
Yes.
So we'll go here.
Okay.
The other option is you could pull the trigger on that elixir. So again, that one-time elixir that Mandy got from winning the last encounter is 3 damage, 1-time use. I don't think it's imperative.
Not yet.
That it. Well, let's see what.
Unless your hand's really bad.
Give me 1 second here, actually.
Okay.
Oh. You know what?
You want me to do it?
I do.
Okay. So I will use my.
I'll explain why when it's my turn, but yeah, I need some assistance with that.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my elixir of strength.
Yep. So that bumps you up to 5 remaining damage.
Right.
3 of which gets rid of the imp. 2 of which goes here.
Yeah. So that's gone.
And I think I already dropped that. I did. So I'll leave that there.
Yep. So now that's it for my hand.
Okay. So it's over to me.
Yeah.
On to the master. First up, we have red ability, which is I have 1 less gold. All right. And this is a vampire fanatic coming into play. Oh, boy.
Oh, no. Ruh-roh.
I have 1 less gold, which makes this really awkward. All right. So I'm just going to set that aside because I do not get to use that. The Ruinous Vampire is going to do 4 damage, and Master's going to heal 4, putting it at 68.
No.
4 damage. First off, 1 must go to this guard, so he's gone. That leaves 3, which would go to me if it could kill me this turn. It cannot, so 1 goes here, gets rid of that champion. That leaves 2, dropping me down to 45.
Oh, my goodness.
Now, the reason that I wanted you to get rid of that imp was because I was going to have enough gold to actually buy something here.
Right.
Because our lowest cost card in this market, which is punishing right now, is 5.
Yeah, that's really.
However, because
not happening.
no, why? Oh, right, because of the ability having 1 less gold.
Right.
So now I'm down to 4, which means I can't buy anything there.
There's nothing there.
Awful. So I'm just going to get 2 fire gems.
Draw a card. I think we said draw a card. Do you have something that allows you to draw a card?
Nope.
Oh.
You do on your turn.
Right.
But
yeah, this here
Yeah.
allows me to do that, but I don't have enough.
yeah.
I didn't have enough money at that time.
Yeah, I think
to
you
do
only
it.
had 1 gold.
Right.
And to trigger that ability, it's 2 golds, expending that ability and taking 1
It's
hit.
White Wizard. That's why I'm wondering why they're saying draw a
Okay.
card.
Maybe we missed something.
Okay.
I
Draw
don't.
a card when your follower died.
Oh, thank you. Yes.
I'm like, what?
Like
and
I
then
said,
realized
like I said, I've actually never played with this follower. Yes. So the ability on this is when this champion becomes stunned, draw a card. So it just got stunned because of this vampire fanatic. Thank you very much. So maybe I'll get that 1 gold back. Nope, but I do get another champion that comes into play.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much for that reminder. I
That's so
appreciate
funny
that.
because I was like, I
So
didn't think I could.
I'll put those back for a second. It's not going to change my purchasing because I still
No,
only have
but
I still only have
more
4.
options.
However, I do now have the ability to kill him off because I can do 3 damage with that champion, 2 damage with my mace. That's 5.
Right.
4 goes here, 1 goes here, down to 67. That's used. That still leaves me with the 4, so I'll
Yep.
still end up buying those 2 fire gems. We have an awkward market at the moment, but hopefully we can
We'll get
start
that all
purchasing some
adjusted.
of those to get rid of that. That was, yeah. Okay.
It's good.
Yes. Thank you for the reminder.
Yeah,
that
that's awesome.
that was key because otherwise that minion would still be there. Here we go.
Yep. So
All right,
first, let
so-
me resolve the yellow.
Yep.
So Fanatics have +2 this turn.
Okay. Which we don't have any in play at the
We don't
moment.
have,
so
yep.
that's okay. So it's over to you.
Okay. Oh, lots of money, not so much damage here. So I have my champion in play. Meow. And I have some gold.
Okay.
So 3. Well, we also have some damage here, but 3, 4,
Okay.
5. And then for damage, I have 1 plus another 2 here for each minion in target area.
Do you have 2 actions?
So I'm just about to check that now. I do not. I have
Oh,
1
just the one, eh?
action,
Okay.
and that's it. So that's kind of tight. That's
Okay.
unfortunate. However, 3, 4, 5, maybe
Or
6.
6, yeah.
Which I might
I
do
like that.
for 6.
I like that.
So we'll expend that.
So Mandy's looking at an action here that is called Life Drain. It does cost 6 to purchase.
Yeah.
With her little kitty there, she does get 6. And it's got some good abilities that you'll probably see the action on once it gets recycled through.
Yeah, so that's looking good. I don't think, do we have any minion in target area? I don't think we have anything.
It's
do we?
only minions? No,
Yeah,
we don't
so
have
no,
any
we don't
minions
have.
out.
So that's not going to be applicable.
Okay.
So I legitimately have 1 damage.
It's
and
1
that's all
damage.
she wrote.
66.
Yep, that's it. And this
Okay,
refreshes.
yep. Over to me. What have we got? Oop, refresh the market.
Yep.
And it's still 5. Wow, the cheapest card out there is still 5. That's
so
that is
pricey.
tough. Oh boy. Okay, here we go.
What?
This is the Ruinos Ambusher. So first off, I'll take care of the ability, which is yellow, and Fanatics have +2 this turn.
Oh,
Yes?
yeah. He's doing it now. The level up.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I wasn't doing that.
Oh,
but
I thought
yes,
you were doing
I totally
See?
should be.
Is it Rob? Is it Rob or Debbie? It's one of the two here.
I do appreciate that. Sometimes things like that can get missed with these
No,
streams.
no, it's good. I'm
Yeah,
so glad
no,
that you're reminding
for
us. When we were playing before, we were doing it, but now we're
Yep.
doing a lot. So thank you.
Yeah, doing the stream, it can be easy to get distracted.
Exactly.
So it did level up. So the Ruinous Zealot now goes to level 2, which it's not the same as the level up from the last one. So again, the left corner shows you the level. So this is level 2. The right corner shows you how many cards to draw. So this does not increase the card draw each turn like it did with the last master, but you know these are going to be a little more difficult to deal with.
Yeah. So thank you for that. No, please, anything you notice, like immediately tell us. We
Absolutely.
really, really appreciate it.
I go through rules front and back over and over again, but it's still easy to miss some stuff once
for
we go
sure.
live. So I do appreciate that. Okay, so yes, the Ruinous Ambusher. So looking at the upgrade on that. Oh, gee.
Are you regretting now?
I say I appreciate it, but man.
I know, right?
Okay.
No.
So the yellow ability on this is Fanatics have +5 defense this turn, which
Oh
means
my goodness.
this Fanatic this turn has a defense of 11.
Oh, wow.
I highly doubt I can get rid of that. I don't focus on damage.
We've just started, so our cards.
It gets better.
Oh, okay.
Better. So the Ruinous Ambusher, Human Fanatic, it is an elite, which means it's going to be sitting in the Master's area, attacking both of us every turn until we can get rid of it.
Oh, no.
And it gets even better. Players' champions enter play expended, which means if you play a champion, they're already expended. You don't get to use any of the abilities until they refresh, if they're even around that long. Okay, so that minion is going to go there. Elite minion is going to go there. And then it will attack, doing 3 damage. Now, on the bright side, if there is one, the the champion I have in play right now has a defense of 5. It is not a guard, though, which means the 3 damage does come through to me. Yeah. But I do still have him in play, which is great. So he's done. Over to me. I get another follower in play, or another champion in play. Comes in and play exhausted. And another champion that comes into play exhausted, which is too bad because this is all damage that I would have normally been able to use, but because it comes in exhausted based on that minion, I cannot use them. I have my mace, and then I have 3 damage. Now, let's see here. So it was +5, which means he's at 11. I can do 3, 5, and trash this for 8, which would normally be enough. Oh, that is rough. Okay.
Keep in mind, too, if it comes my way, I have the fireball, which I could potentially throw.
Not needed yet. That won't help me on my turn.
Not your turn, but for later.
Now, there are some cards that actually do have keywords that would allow you to use them on another player's turn. I'll explain that if and when we get there. So the damage, I can still do the damage here because he is not guarded with that minion. Right. He is a non-guard minion. I don't know. I'm going to start with the money. Okay. 3 money. I know that's what I have. There's nothing there I can purchase.
Nope.
Now might be the time to pull my Bless ability because I have 3 champions in play.
That's an idea.
I'm going to do that.
Oh, there you
so
go.
I did describe my Bless ability before, or my Bless skill, I should say. I get to expend this. I will spend 2, and target player, it's going to be myself. I'd rather heal Mandi, but because I want to actually use the secondary portion of this for my champions, it does have to be the same player. You can't split this up. So target player gains, in this case, 3. So I go from 42 to 45.
Which is good.
And then all of my champions gain +1 defense. So now that's basically another 3 health that won't be taken away from me. Now what I like to do, because I do forget that I've triggered this, you do expend it. But at the end of my turn, I'm actually going to place it over top of my my champions as a reminder that they have that increase. Because when we were playing before, there were a couple times that I triggered it and totally forgot until my turn was over and just didn't bother going back again. That leaves me 1 gold. That is no good. 2 damage. And I could do 4 healing. I think I'm just going to do damage. Are you cool with that?
Yeah, because it needs
We're
to
doing
go
okay.
down,
Yeah, so let's do 3 and 2 is 5 damage here, down to 61.
Yeah, I think that's wise.
I would have liked to have gotten rid of that, but I didn't have enough.
So be it.
So then these guys are going to refresh, and then that's where I'm going to put this Bless over top of them to show, as a reminder for myself, this isn't what you're supposed to do, but for my own purposes, for a reminder, I like doing that, so I know these all have +1 defense.
Exactly.
Over to you.
All right, so let's start here.
Yep.
Oh, I'm also going to be taking some hits too. Lordy.
Yep. Yeah, we need to get rid of him as soon as we can.
So Runos, the vampire, it's a minion.
Uh-oh.
So let's resolve the yellow here. So fanatics have +4.
Plus, wasn't it 5?
5, sorry. I'm blind.
Yeah.
5.
+5.
Oh.
To their defense. So now this guy, again, has 11 defense, and this one has 9.
9. Lovely. Okay, now we have to resolve the bottom bits here. So I'm going to take 3.
Yep.
Which is going to be to 50, and then
Before
another.
you do that?
Oh, yep.
2 here first.
Yes, why do I keep doing that?
Yeah.
So 53. Rewind. So I'm taking 3 hits, so 2 are going to go here.
Yep.
I keep forgetting about poor kitty. Then I take, 1 here.
There you go.
And then this one here is going to give me another 4.
Another 4, yeah.
So which gives me to 48.
The master gets to heal 4.
Darn right. And technically this would happen.
Yep. And then it refreshes.
And then refresh.
Okay.
All right. Well then, that was disheartening. So let's...
It may look hopeless for a while. That's what it did in the last time we played, and
it wasn't too shabby.
we pulled off the unbelievable win. I hope we just come close this time.
I know, right?
I don't expect us to do what we did last time,
Although
but you were doing
really...
some wicked damage combinations.
I know,
before.
but right now it's so not good. Okay, so damage, I literally just have 4, which
Okay.
right now
Well,
is not going to do...
That's easy enough
Well,
because
sure.
you have him. You have to go there.
Are they not?
Oh, no.
No.
+5. He's at
They're
9.
+5.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
so I'm like, nope.
Yep. Good call.
And then this is 1, 2, 3 plus I get the discount. So let's start here first. It's less upsetting. So basically, I don't
boy.
think there's anything I can get. Nope. Except I can get a couple of those. I just don't know if it's worth it for me to.
Not even a couple. You could only get one.
One.
Because they're items, not actions.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
Well,
You
better
could
than
draw a
nothing.
card. I don't know if that's worth it. That's up to you.
You know what? I
But-
think I would almost rather do that.
Who knows? Maybe you could get it.
Well,
You're at what? You're at 4?
I do have a big one in there.
You picked up at least one.
So you
This
know
is
what?
part of the
I'm
gamble
gonna
of a
spend it.
wizard.
I'm gonna spend that 2
Okay.
to use my wizard abilities here,
Okay.
or skill, excuse me.
So taking 1 damage as well.
Yes, and we're gonna draw.
Okay.
Please don't be money.
Big damage.
Okay, it's 2.
That's not enough.
I know.
That won't do anything. 2, 4, 6, and you need 9 to get through him.
Oh, that's upsetting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we tried. That's
Now, Mandy does still have her
yes.
fireball, but you know what? I don't know if that's worth it.
For
just one minion? Nope, because
no,
it has
because
to be in
it
the
has
same
to be
area.
in the same. Yes,
So the fireball only triggers in one
that's
area.
right. So you know what? It's
So
not
if
worth
she's
it.
using it here, it's only on the one. If she's using it here, it would be minion and
I
master.
think-
But I don't think it's worth. She has to do it here. I don't
No.
think it's worth it.
Last time we had it, it was quite a few here.
Yep.
So, all right, that is my sad and pathetic turn.
It was a gamble, but yeah, it did not pay off that
Yeah.
time. Okay.
Yeah, well, cycles it out of the deck, I guess, for the time being.
So let's see here. I might be able to get something expensive. Let's see what the master does to me first. Oh.
It's not good.
It's an action.
Uh-oh.
Escape.
Oh, boy.
So first off, it is a white ability, which means it's going to trigger its favored ability. In this case, stun the 2 highest champions among all players. Oh, no.
What? I missed something about stunning all players?
Stun the 2 highest champions among all players. I have 3 champions. I have to stun the 2 highest. So, oh, no.
Orc champion stays in play.
Orc champion. Did you have an orc champion?
I did. That's right. Sorry. Yes, when I was cleaning up my cards.
Okay.
That's right. That's the one that I drew.
Right.
Yes.
It was the damage wasn't doing
Right.
anything.
It wasn't
good, but
doing
yes.
anything, but the card, yes, because
Champion
it's a
still
champion.
stays in
So
play.
anybody who was watching,
Thank you.
that was the card that I had drawn from the ability that I was able to draw the card from using my skill.
And
Yes.
not only that, the damage actually wouldn't have done you any good because with this guy still here, it comes into play exhausted.
That's
So
true.
you wouldn't even have
So
had
technically,
you
yes,
wouldn't even have had
That's
the,
right. It
yeah,
would have come in like
you
this.
wouldn't have even had the comment on
And
it.
then, yeah, it would have come in like this according to that.
Yep.
And then because it's a champion, when I was cleaning up my cards, it should have actually come into play, albeit exhausted.
Yep.
But
And then refreshed at the
or
end.
expended,
Yep.
excuse me.
Okay. So with the favored ability, it's the 2 highest champions get stunned. Those 2 are gone. That I am not a fan of. So I'm left with this follower, which does right now have +1 defense, but no further damage is going to come through. However, we have escape. If the master's deck has been reshuffled this encounter, the master escapes.
Oh,
So right now, this is just going to go into the discard pile. But if it comes up a second time, game over. He gets away from us. So now we have a timer on the deck, unless we can discard that somehow, which we did do in one play. We got to get lucky with that though, and we need to start purchasing
well, I
cards
feel like
as well.
we had more cards last time.
Well, these are too expensive.
These
That's the
are-
problem. We're handcuffed
we need
right
a
now
flush.
with we're handcuffed right now with those
This
cards.
is terrible.
Okay, so I'm going to get rid of this right now, that reminder, because there's no further damage. He stays in play. speaking of buying cards, that's pretty much all I'm going to be doing.
Okay. At least you're able to do that.
2, 4, 5, and more. 6.
Okay.
First thing is, though, I'm going to trigger my recruit action. It's going to be worth 2 gold, 3 healing, plus 1 for each champion I have in play, which is 1. So 4 healing.
Wow.
Would you like to take that?
Sure. So that'll give me 4, you said? So 51.
So 51. So I don't have any minions in front of me, so I can do that. That's okay.
I'll need it.
And that leaves me, I do have some synergy with cards here because I do have 2 Imperial faction cards. So I do get to trigger the bottom portions as well. And on taxation, that's another 6 healing. That is fantastic.
Yeah, maybe you should take that.
Yeah, don't mind if I do. So that'll be 51.
So yes, McDrizzle 13. Sometimes happens when he plays Legendary, all the expensive cards come out too early and get destroyed.
It makes it awkward. We'll see if we can push through, but
yes, we're gonna
try. I can at least clear one of them because I now have 2, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 to spend.
So you got 8 here for this champion with guarding of 6.
And if I got one of the 5s, who knows what would come out next? Yeah, I think I'm going to go straight for the 8. That is a nice one. That is Tyrannor the Devourer.
Ooh.
An 8-cost champion.
Boss minion should have attacked. That's right. Did you do your...
That minion, yes. Thank you very much. Oh, boy. Okay, so...
We're just like all over the place.
So, okay, then I will put this back. That was the reminder that it had +1. So he's going to do 3 damage, which 2 goes here, 1 goes to me. So I'm down to 50.
Okay.
That's fine. Thank you again. So yes, I purchased a very expensive champion. Hopefully I can get him into play. That left me with 1.
No, I know. Sorry, because it's like, no, we're going to die. But we won't. We're going to make it. We're going to make it.
That left me with 1, which there's nothing to purchase. I'm not going to get rid of that fire gem yet because hopefully I can purchase some more cards and we can start flushing out those expensive ones. Okay. That's me.
Good?
Yeah.
Okay, so before I even touch my hand, let's deal with what's happening over here. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it won't be pretty.
We haven't flipped
That's
it, have
fine.
we?
No, we've already. He's already level 2.
So mastery, but I still have to resolve the blue.
Yep.
Stun the 2 highest champions among all players. So my orc...
Stunned.
Stunned. It's gone. Why do I keep doing that? Not expended. Stunned. It's gone.
That'll be discarded, so that's fine.
And on top of that now, I need to take 3 here.
Yep.
So that's going to bring me to 48.
Yep.
And then I also have to take 4 here, which is going to bring me to 44.
Yep. And heals 4.
4 healing.
69.
That is unfortunate.
All right. It
More
seems
ways
like we're
than
going
one.
backwards. And that's because we are. But hopefully we can turn it around once our decks get stronger.
This is terrible. So technically I guess this would have happened.
So then these all refresh.
But then it's going to refresh.
On the bright side, you are the damage dealer, and now they do not have those +5 defense. So hopefully you can
look on the bright
get through at least one of them.
side of life. All right. Okay, well, we got some damage happening here. What's this? Mastery cards stays attached to the master.
Okay, even after leveling up?
Okay, eventually they will be out of the deck, making him stronger over time.
Oh, even better. Okay.
That's unfortunate.
Good to know.
Okay, thank you for that. That's important, actually. Okay, so let's take a look here. I have some money, so I have about 4 to spend here.
Yep.
And then I have some attack. I have lots of attacks, so I can actually discard a card in my hand or discard pile.
That's good.
Let's see here. Let's get rid of some of those monies we had that are worth 1.
Yeah, basic gold.
Yeah.
I'd like to start getting rid of those. I don't think I have any ability to do so.
And I have actually another card that says the same.
Nice.
And
you
that'll
do
be
have another one.
that one.
Your
so
deck's getting nice and strong now. That's
hopefully, this is what we're aiming for. And if you have 2 or more action cards in play, which I do, I have 3 in fact.
Nice.
I get to draw a card. Okay, this is kind of useful because it replaces the gold. So it has 1 gold and then deal 2 damage to each minion in target area because right now it's high.
Okay.
So Now is that plus? Oh no, the plus is not happening
Nope.
anymore. That's
They're
right.
just
That's
the
fine.
base-
So it's just the
base amounts,
basic.
yeah.
Oh, that's fine. Because we got lots happening here. And actually, I'm gonna have some double actions here. I can actually draw a card here too.
Nice.
So, sorry, lots happening.
Now, when you're playing cards in Star Realms or in Hero Realms, when you play the cards and you've actioned them, they don't actually go into your discard pile.
Right.
Because in a case like this, Mandi's out of cards, she has to reshuffle, but any cards that she's played on this current turn would not be in that discard pile. Once your turn is done, then all cards that were played move to the discard pile. Any cards that were purchased do go straight to the discard pile. So if she had the ability to purchase a card first, it would go to the discard pile. Then if she could trigger the draw card, those would get shuffled. So there's the chance that she could get anything that she purchased back on the same turn.
I love Rob. This is more like it. Wizard is dealing some serious damage.
Yes, yeah, that's the way we've been playing it so far. Is she's the damage dealer, and I just hope to keep us alive long enough to get there.
Okay, so now that I've kind of
Having said keeping us
Yes.
keeping us alive long enough, we just need one person to make it to the end. If somebody dies, they get removed and all of their cards are removed. Any master cards will get discarded, but as long as one person makes it to the end, we win. So I'm hoping to keep you alive long enough to do that.
Okay, so we have 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. That's what we
Plus.
have here. Plus, right, the 2 per
Yep.
minion. So, depending on what we're doing there.
Yep.
So I don't know if we want to maybe deal with that
Let's
first.
deal with that. You've
Let's deal
counted
with
it
that.
up. So you've got 13 damage to deal.
Right.
Plus
2 per.
to each minion in an area,
Correct.
but there's only one minion in each area, so it's just going to be a net result of 2 somewhere.
Right.
So 13, so we'll say that does 2 damage here, plus
Right.
2 from your 13, leaves you with 11.
Correct.
6 here,
Mm-hmm.
leaves you with 5.
Yep.
Nice to get rid of that. And then 5 here, puts you down to 64. All right,
And
that's
now
a start.
we've got some money here. So we've got 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I have the discount
And 1 for an action.
for 1 less if I get an action.
So
So,
you could get an action worth 7.
but there really isn't anything
No.
right now. So, they're not ideal.
That's drawing a card.
Drawing a card.
I
and
like
then
drawing a card for
put
you because your
the-
deck just got a lot stronger.
Well, and here with the guild action, put the next card you acquire this turn into your hand, not on top of
Ooh.
your deck, into your hand.
Okay.
So that's pretty slick. I
Yeah.
think I might have to do that.
And that leaves you with, and that was an action?
This is an action.
So technically that cost you 4.
Right. 5, 6.
So you have 2 left.
Yeah. But I just,
You could get
I
that.
guess I could take this and I
It's
can
worth
trash
2
it to
plus,
use
yeah, you could get rid of it
this.
right away for
Right.
extra
So we'll take
attack.
the fire gem just for some extra attack later on.
Yep.
So that will be the end of my turn.
I like it. And keep your champions.
Yes. Where's it? Did I take any?
Or do you have any
No,
champions?
I don't.
Those are
Remember?
all actions.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because remember that the orc was.
Yep. Yeah, I thought you had one champion in there.
I did, and that was the orc, but it was stunned.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, over to me. Let's see what we got here. We've got first off green action, which is flip again. Uh-oh.
Oh, these are the worst.
Okay, so this clinging imp is going to come into my area, but not triggering yet. Draw
Okay.
another one, which is twofold being the worst, because 1, it's another card I have to deal with, but 2, we're getting through that deck faster, and there is that escape card in there. Don't forget that. We can't. We need to win before that comes up. Twisting bolt. Oh, no.
Oh, that's right. We're up to drawing 2 now, aren't we?
No, not drawing
Not yet?
2, but the ability was
Oh,
flip again,
okay.
so I had to draw another one.
Right. I was like, did we upgrade already?
No, we did.
We did. Okay.
But it's still just
But it's
one
still
card.
one. It's
Yeah.
just harder abilities. Okay.
Okay, so with the white, it is the favored ability, which is stun the 2 highest champions among all players. That's fantastic because we don't have any.
No champion.
However, this deals 10 damage to you, or a nearby player may choose to suffer the damage instead.
I'm at 44. What are you at?
I'll take it.
Okay.
I'm at 50. I'm now at 40. Ouch.
Yeah, that's
And
good.
the clinging imp is also in play. If I play a Necros card, I can stun it. And I have to discard a card that costs 1 or more. Oh.
Ooh, you had a rough
I
go
have
there.
no choice because this is the weakest hand ever. Actually, you know what? A time to do that, this is the time.
Yeah.
All of my cards are basic except for the fire gem, which isn't even a strong card. So I have to discard that. He's done doing his impish behavior. I have a follower and
Okay.
4 gold or 5 healing. Does 4 gold get me anything good?
That's the only thing there.
That's better for you than me, I
Yes,
think.
it is.
So I'm going to use 2 gold to take a fire gem, and then 5 healing. I think I'll put that back on mine.
Yeah, that would probably be wise.
Yeah, I'll put that back on mine. So I'm at 45. Okay. And then I do have 1 damage that I could do with my champion,
Right.
but I have an imp in the way, so I can't do anything there. That's me.
Okay. Okay, this is not making me very confident right
Yeah,
now.
we're running low on cards in the Masters deck, which means that escape card is going to get shuffled back in. So we need to start doing a lot of damage quickly.
Ruinous Disciples, Minion, Human Fanatic. So it's red, which is you have -2 gold this turn.
Okay.
Well, that's not very nice. And I lose, so do that, which is going to make me lose 3. Bring me down to 41.
Okay.
Refresh that. I think that was it
Yep.
for that. Okay, so I was hoping this would go better, but it is what it is. So now I have my cat familiar in play, and I have a lot of actions. So I do have some damage, nothing kind of chaining, but
Okay.
2, 4, 6, 8. And you may sacrifice a card in your hand or discard pile. I mean,
That is a May. So,
yeah. So I think right now, I mean, these are starting ones,
yep.
but I have not really been buying a lot of cards. That's my concern about removing these right now.
Without 1, can you still do 6 damage to get rid of both of these?
So 2, 4, this will give me 6. 2, 4, 6. So I could technically.
Yeah, I don't mind getting rid of them
because
you have
they're
been
starting
getting
ones. Yeah.
Yeah, you have been getting some actions, and the main thing
And then
they
I can
fuel
use
is
this
actions.
for an extra 1 if we
Yep.
need it.
Yep.
So technically I could get rid of
I
this.
don't mind that.
Yeah, I think that's probably not a bad idea.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
So-
I know you haven't been buying as many cards as normally,
Right.
but I think that's okay.
So this is 2, 4, 6, and then I can use this.
So with that, discard a card from your hand or discard. Like I was saying before, if you don't have a discard, it would have to come from your hand. And if it comes from your hand, you don't get the ability on it, obviously, because it's discarded. So that's 2 damage we're not doing, but with the benefit of Mandi's hand getting, or deck getting a little stronger.
And I've also used my cat familiar to give me another 1.
Okay.
Because I can't money.
The gold doesn't do you any
It doesn't
good
do
with
me
just
any good
1. Yeah.
anyway. Exactly. And healing, it's only 1, so it's not that serious.
So you're doing a total of 7.
7 total.
So that must go,
Yep. So that's 3.
leaving you 4. Do you mind?
Yep.
Yay.
That
Leaving
was
you
for
1.
another 3, so an extra
63.
1. All right.
I suspect your next hand may be somewhat spectacular.
Don't say that. You're going to jinx me. Good play. Yahoo!
Excellent. Okay. Yes, if we have the professionals saying
Yes.
it was a good play, then great.
We're doing all right. We're doing all right.
All right. So over to the master. That deck's getting thin. We have Runos Ambusher. Oh no.
Oh, this.
So it is an elite. This is another elite one, and
Uh-oh.
players, champions enter play expended, which is really unfortunate because I just got my really expensive champion into my hand. All right, so first off, green ability, which is, oh no, flip again.
Oh, no.
So I'll take care of that first. And it is red. It's a mastery card,
That's
so
not good.
that's going to go here. And red states 2 fewer gold.
That's not what I'm worried about right now.
Okay, so this is now going to go, because it's elite, into the master area. And players, champions enter play expended. Need to remember that.
Yeah.
And then he's going to do 3 damage. 1 goes to my champion because he is a guard. And 2 goes to me. I'm down to 43. 2 fewer gold. As a reminder, I'll set that one aside. I don't have any synergies with that with the Imperial faction. So that's 2 gold I will not get to spend.
Okay.
Wonderful champion that I have here that does 4 damage, and I can sacrifice up to 2 cards in my hand or discard pile. But it comes into play expended, which means I actually don't get that ability.
Says if you can stun that guy before you play your champion, then your champion comes into play prepared.
No hope.
Can't, eh?
No hope for
No,
me doing that.
shoot.
No. I don't have the firepower that Mandi does. Mandi might be able to pull that off, but unfortunately, I do not.
Yikes.
Because without that, I've only got 3 damage by discarding a fire gem, unfortunately. But that is a good point. Order order of play can definitely
Absolutely.
matter. So that's still great to point out. So yes, comes into play expended, unfortunately, which leaves me with another champion that will do nothing for me. But I need to remember this because this is a new one for me. When he is stunned, I get to draw a card. So I need to remember that.
Okay.
So ultimately, I am left with 3 gold.
It's the same one as last time.
Which is still best for you.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
That's right, because you were -2, but you put that card there, right?
Yeah,
To show
so
that.
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to spend 2 gold to use my Bless ability, which heals me 3, or heals target player, but I am targeting myself. I'm up to 46, and then that's going to be +1 defense for each of my minions. And that leaves me with 1 gold that I can't use. These guys refresh, and then as the reminder for the Bless, I will do that. Over to you.
Now, wasn't there something about...
Now I need to shuffle, yes.
But there was, what was that card said if we have to shuffle?
Well, it's escape. If it comes up again,
Right.
that's
okay.
it.
So let's hope this does not come
hopefully
up.
you've got some cards in play that will let us discard that card before it comes in. But
Yeah, I don't think
unfortunately,
it's gonna
purchasing
be-
has been weak this
yeah,
encounter.
it's been rough.
So any card could be our last if it's the escape card. Good luck.
All right, thanks for that.
No problem.
All right. Mastery. But I do have to take the action here, so the
Yep.
target action here. Oh, it's the blue. Stun the 2 highest champions among all players. I'm so sorry.
All
So,
right.
what are yours? No, so just
He's
yeah.
7 and he
this
is now 2.
And this is 2.
And when it's a tie, it goes active player
Yeah.
first.
So then
Okay,
this
so
would be. Oh no, was it stunned? Yes,
Yeah.
stunned. Okay.
I don't. He was so expensive, and I haven't been able
but
to
if
play
you
him
stun,
yet.
isn't there one you get the card?
I
or is-
could pull the resurrect
Uh,
and bring him back, but that's a one-time thing. So we'll see what the situation is when it's my turn. I might pull the trigger on that. We'll see.
so which one did you stun? That's not the one that gives you a card when you get stunned.
No, sorry,
That's that one?
no,
Okay,
that's this one.
okay,
Yeah, yeah.
Perfect.
Thank you.
No problem.
Good to
Okay.
remind me, though.
So now I have to take 3 here.
Yeah, you do.
Oh, that's unfortunate. So we're at 38. All right. And I think we're good to go. And boy, oh boy, oh boy. Well, I have no champions coming into play, so that's kind of a good thing. So I have some monies.
Okay.
Actually, I've got lots of money.
Not
And
a
with
bad
this,
thing.
although I'm really tempted to use that. So I may sacrifice it. So it's 8 damage. Or
Nice.
combat. You may sacrifice a card in your hand or discard pile. So I think I do have an extra that 2,
Yeah,
which I could filter out,
yep.
and then
your deck's getting quite strong,
yeah,
so
which
I
is
don't
what we're
mind
trying to
getting rid
go
of those.
for. Yeah, exactly. Now this here is going to give me some money. So 2, 5, 6, 7, and then so technically I have the
discount on
discount, so I
action.
could technically buy up to 8 if I have the opportunity. I have this for 6.
So that would actually cost you 5 because it's an
Right.
action. I like that.
Yeah. I think that's my best bet right now. I don't really have anything in that faction.
So we've got Smash and Grab is a rogue action.
Yeah.
Normally costs 6. With Mandy's discount with her spell components, she's going to get it for 5.
All right, so let's take that one off
And
here.
that leaves you with 5, 6, 7. So that leaves you with 2. Yeah.
It's a champion, but the wild faction tends to be
Yep.
in my
You've
deck.
got some wild.
So I think we will do that as well.
I like it.
Okay,
Now,
so that's the use of all of these. Now I could technically trash this at this point.
I also don't mind that
So if I trash that now, that'll give me 3.
because you know we're now
I'll
a
do
race
this.
against the deck, right?
Right.
So we need to get him down.
So that's 11 total.
11. So 6 going here
Yep.
because that's we don't have to because he's not a guard, but that is the one that makes our champions come and play exhausted. So it would be nice to or expended, I should say.
Right.
It would be nice to get rid of him.
Yep.
So that's
sounds good.
6, leaving 5.
Yep.
We're down to 58.
Okay, so we're getting there. Slow burn.
But your deck is getting quite strong now. So
yes.
I want to see some strong hands coming up. I'm going to keep
No
us alive.
pressure.
I want to see strong hands from you.
No pressure. All right,
Okay,
it's
so
my
I
turn.
do still have this dude here that currently has 2 defense because of the Bless spell. And if gets stunned, will get me a card. Saying that out loud as a reminder to myself.
I can't shuffle apparently.
First off, red. Red is, I have -2 gold this turn. That I don't mind. What was that at? 65, I believe.
Okay.
Okay, I just spun that card around. Clinging Imp. I have to discard a card with a cost of 1 or more. Actually, that's okay. I'll get rid of a fire gem. That's fine. So that's dealt with. No damage done, so he's still here. And he's going to heal for 2. Let's see here. No synergies going. But I do have 2 more champions. So I've got 3 champions in play.
Yeah, that's true. Don't forget the escape card. You're up against the clock.
Yeah.
So that's needs the
Exactly.
one who's recommended that
Yep.
as well. Yeah.
So ideally, we're hoping that Mandy has purchased some cards, or myself, but you're usually the one buying the
Right.
Necros cards. The Necros cards, if its target opponent has to discard a card, that's where we actually get to look at the top and decide, do we keep it on top or do we discard it? There was one game we played where we timed it. We saw the escape card and we were able to discard it
yes.
to then keep on going. I don't know if we're going to get that option this time or not, so let's find out. I have 2 gold to spend. There's nothing there I want. I'm going to trigger Bless again.
Okay.
Target player, so it has to be me because I do want to trigger the Bless on all of my champions. So I heal 3. That puts me at 49. And again, I'm going to put this here as a reminder. I did spend the 2 gold. I'll remove those out of the way. I'm at 49. You're at 38. I'm going to get you some healing.
Okay. I'm all right with that. Resurrect. Oh, I think they're talking about the card.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
could resurrect the that champion. Do I want to do that now?
Needs of the one. Now's the time to use it.
It does get a strong one
Well,
back in
and
play.
this is it. And like, we do not need to draw that card.
It does get a strong one back in play.
Yeah. So I'm almost thinking that
And
might be
because I'm triggering Bless, it'll have one more. Thank you, needs the one. Yeah, no, I totally agree.
Yeah.
So for anybody that's not sure what's happening here, I have my cleric ability called Resurrect. I can trash this, so it is just a one-time use, and put a champion from my discard pile into play, and I can use it on a champion that only use it on a champion that was stunned since my last turn, which was that Devourer, which was my expensive one that I was crying about. So I am going to resurrect that champion.
Okay.
Still doesn't create any synergies, but because I'm triggering Bless, instead of a 6 guard, he is now a 7 guard, which is great. I healed myself 3. I'm going to get you some healing,
Yep.
but I'm also going to do some damage.
Okay.
Let's see here. I want to get rid of him.
Yep.
You're at 38. You know what? I'm just going to go for as much damage as possible, so that 2 will go to you.
Okay, so 2.
Yep.
So that'll give me up to 40.
Now I can sacrifice up to 2 cards in my hand or discard pile, which is fantastic. Actually, it's a little awkward. I only have 1 basic gold in my discard pile. I did have 1 in my hand, but I used those 2 gold to use the Bless, which I do still want to trigger because 4 champions in front of me.
Yeah.
Bless is really strong now. So these are not in my discard pile. As I was saying, when you play cards, they're still in your play area. It's at the end of your turn that all played cards then go to your discard pile. So I cannot discard those. I could get rid of one of the fire gems, but it's 2 gold and 3 damage if I trash it through use. So I think I'll just get rid of the 1. I will now be doing, let's see here. Each wild and play, nope. So I'll be doing 2, 5, 9 damage. 3 goes to the imp.
Yep.
6 goes here.
Okay, now we're talking.
Down to 59. We're making some movement. So now
Yes.
these guys refresh, and they all have +1 to their defense, which is great.
That's awesome.
That's gone. Over to you.
All right, so let's draw here. Perhaps scrap the standard follower.
He lets me draw a card, though.
I could tell you don't want to let it go. You're like,
I don't have a standard follower. I have the Redeemed Ruinos.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's just a different one that came out.
Which is, unless it was, no, it wasn't in my hand.
Okay.
So no, that's the one that lets me draw a card if he does get stunned. So I don't mind him staying in play, especially with the +1. So
Right.
yeah.
All right, so I've drawn a card here. This is Twisting Bolt. It's an action curse. This deals 10 damage to you. A nearby player may choose to suffer the damage instead. But before we get to that, I need to stun the 2 highest champions among all players. I have no champions.
Which means that guy that I resurrected, he's gone again.
So sorry.
And my War Mage is gone. Oh, that is punishing.
Is that the one you can draw a card? I like
Punishing. No, that's the
Darn
cheapest
it.
one.
So sorry. But then I now take 10.
Punishing. Nope, I'll take the 10.
Oh, you want to take the 10? Okay.
You're the damage dealer here. I need to keep you alive.
Because
so,
I'm at that. Yeah.
So 49, I'm down to 39. I need to keep you alive because you have the potential to do lots of damage.
Yeah, that's a big ouchie. So that's done.
What's his name? Tyrannor. Oh, Tyrannor. Okay.
Okay, so we've resolved that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that was not good. And my hand is not great. Like, money-wise, yes. Damage, not so much.
Okay.
So...
damage not bad.
Not bad. So 6 combat, you may put a card from your discard pile on top of your deck.
Okay. But if you purchase first, it would be in your discard
True.
pile. Because when you purchase, and again, this is where it comes down to order of operations. You purchase a card, it goes straight to your discard pile. And then trigger that, it could go on top of the deck,
So
which
you know
is
what?
great.
Let's do this first then. So let's...
Now, do you have 2 actions? Because
Yes, well, and there's that, and then there's this, which is also going to happen.
and the 2 actions lets you do what?
So 2 actions, draw a card.
Yeah.
And
so
that's going to happen. So let's do that.
Yep. Okay, we have Mandy's deck is getting quite strong.
Yeah,
so
I need
this
to-
there's some combinations that are going to happen here.
So now my cat familiar champion comes into play.
Okay. So that was your fire staff ability.
Yep. And now here, my deception ability is draw a card,
Okay.
which is just the gem, fire
Okay.
gem.
Okay.
Put the next card you acquire this turn into your hand.
Okay.
So that can happen.
Into your hand. That's
Into your hand.
fantastic.
This is
yes.
so good.
Okay.
And then this one is the dealing. I get the 1 gold, but I also get to deal 2 damage to minions in target
Okay.
area.
There
so
are no
there are
minions, so
none.
that's irrelevant.
And put the next action you acquire this turn on top of your deck.
Okay.
So I've got 1 coming to my hand.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the ability on this is going to be irrelevant. The one taking from the discard pile and
Right.
putting it on top of your deck would normally be a rather strong action, but she's got 2 abilities here, one that puts it into her hand, one that puts it on top of the deck directly. So unless she's purchasing 3 cards, that's not going to trigger.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So we did that and we did that. Okay. So now buying is probably the best way to go, I guess.
Sure.
To start. So I've got 2, 3, I have 6. Yeah.
8. You have
8.
the fire gem.
Sorry, I forgot my fire gem.
Yep.
8.
So the first card can go right into your hand, which means you're going to get to play it right away. So look at anything that could trigger.
It's not. This is a champion.
That's not bad.
Which is not bad. This is.
That's a champion.
But it's only giving me more money. I
That
think
lets you draw a card.
+1 and draw a card and then stun target champion. This one also lets me draw a card.
Because you do have, yeah.
But then again, but it's a champion.
And yeah, stun target champion would be great, but there are no minions
I'm
out
almost
here.
thinking this
And
might be.
in terms of minions, I don't think I've mentioned this yet. Minions are considered champions for effects like this, which are stun target champion. That would be stunning a target minion.
Yeah. So yeah, it needs to the one look for synergies. Yeah, this is why we're kind of looking here because I have the guild action and I have it out already.
Okay.
So I think I'm gonna go with that.
Okay. So we said you had 8. So
Yep.
that's 5.
This is 5.
Okay. So that leaves you 3. It goes into your hand.
That's right, because we did this
Because
one
of these,
first.
yep.
So I'm just going to put this here so I know.
So you get to play it.
Yeah, so there you go. So we're going to play it there. But it's a champion, so technically it goes here.
Okay.
So I'm getting a little full up here. So
It's all right. And you get to draw a card.
that is correct. I'm almost regretting not taking that champion, but it's okay. And with this, okay, yeah, just saying to get looking at World of Power as well.
Okay.
So, but the only reason why we didn't go that route is because I these ones we've been kind of leaning more into your world.
I don't think Mandi actually has any
I don't.
Imperial faction right now. So these would be best in my deck because she's not going to get any, like that's 5 healing if you have an Imperial faction card in your
Yeah.
in your hand, which there's a good chance I will, because I've been building towards
Yeah,
that.
unfortunately, I have not.
Yeah.
So you may sacrifice, so it's 2 combat. You may sacrifice a card in your hand or discard pile. I'm not going to be doing that, and I won't be able to trigger that bottom ability.
Okay, so you still have 3 to spend, and it can
Yes.
go on top of your deck. There is Death Threat. Actually, there's only Death
That's
Threat.
only Death
Yeah,
Threat.
it's that
so,
or the Fire Gem,
Yep,
but
let's
that's
just do
the way
that.
to go.
That's going to go
Yep.
on
Now
the
it's
deck.
going on top of the deck because of one of the other card abilities. So the strongest one out there was into hand that she
Right.
then got to play. The next strongest was into on top of her deck.
Right. And also forget, I can also...
You can trash that, which
Trash
I think
this.
you might as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So add it up.
All right.
What you got?
And I also have this happening over here. So we've got 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm trashing this, so this will give me 12.
Yep. So
Yeah, here. And then I can also do this for 3, which is 15.
Yep.
And then I can do this for 1, which is 16.
Yes, it is.
There we go.
Fantastic. So 16.
Yeah.
That puts us down to 43.
Excellent choice.
Okay, we're making headway now.
So now I think all of these are done, except for these are going to stay.
Yep.
And these are both champions.
Fantastic turn.
So there you go. That was actually a good turn. Sorry,
Yeah.
it took a little bit longer than I would have liked.
No, but that's where you can see a lot of the combinations are starting to come through now that Mandi's deck is getting so strong because she was able to discard a lot of those starting cards.
All right.
Now watch, I'll just play 2 money and buy something there. Let's see. What do we got? First, it is the blue ability, which is
No.
stun the 2 highest champions.
Start it.
Which are my last... Oh, no,
So this is a 5.
it's not. I've got...
Yeah.
Technically, this is 5.
Yeah. So it's just
so
those,
the 2
it's
fives.
just those 2.
Yep,
So
2
these are
fives.
gone.
Which means I don't get to draw a card because that's the guy that... He's still standing. He's fighting.
Still there.
He's fighting. Okay, so that's the ability. Then the Clinging Imp says that I need to discard a card that costs 1 or more. Uh-oh, I only have 1. And that's my recruit action, which has some healing. That's gone. Okay. That bless ability is reset. Compared to you, I'm basic. That's it.
Like crazy.
I have a follower. I have a spiked mace, which you know what? I'm going to trigger those first. That's enough. 1 for the follower, 2 for the spiked mace is 3 to get rid of the imp.
Yep, exactly.
That's played. Like I said, I'm just trying to keep you alive long enough to get rid of this guy.
Destroy.
So we're going to go 2 healing, and I do have 2 followers, so I get both abilities on my
Right.
prayer beads. That's great. Another 5, so 7. Would you like to heal yourself 7?
Excuse me. I don't. Yeah. How are you doing
Go
for
ahead.
health? Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
at 39, so that'll put Mandi at 47. But
Yes.
again, I want to make sure she has enough health to, even if I die, I obviously don't want to because I'm here to heal. But if I do, as long as Mandi's alive to finish him off, because I
Right.
won't be able to. I'm not building towards doing damage.
Okay.
That leaves me 3 to spend. An action.
Yeah, that's it.
And I don't have a lot of wilds, I don't think.
Okay, that's 6. Oh, that is good.
Although, that's the ability we're looking for.
Yep.
Target opponent discarding a card, which lets us look at the top and decide whether or not we discard it. That's one way around that escape card.
So that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, I'll get that into my hand.
Yep.
That is me.
Okay. So
Over to you.
here we go. Clinging Imp. And it's green, so let's resolve that first.
Yep.
Flip again.
Oh no,
It's blue.
still not the escape card. That's great.
So blue is the champions, isn't it? 2 highest champions.
No!
So this is 2, so that's gone.
Okay, well,
So one of yours is
I
gonna...
get to decide, because they're
Yeah.
both 1, that's going to be the Redeemed Runos, which means I'm going to get to draw an extra card. So that's okay.
Okay, and
So
now...
once I've shuffled these and drawn up to my 5, I'll actually get to draw 1 extra one.
So I'm going to take 4 here.
So it's
Brings
5
down to
and 1 is
43.
6.
4 increase here.
Okay, 47.
So technically that's happened. And then this one is when you play a Necros card, stun this minion, which will happen, just not yet.
Yep.
And then discard a card that costs 1 or more.
Okay.
That's... You know what? This is probably the one I'm going to get rid of.
My deck is weak. This is all you.
almost tempted to keep this. So I can get that card. Oh. Okay. I think I'm going to have to do this because one of these is relying on another. So I'm going to get rid of this for one. I was hoping that I could save it to do.
Nope.
Sorry, no, it has to be an action.
Yeah, it has to be
cost more than. Oh, that's
one.
right. This is no cost on the corner. Yeah. Oh no. So you know what? Never mind.
Yeah, it has to be something that you've purchased.
So you know what? We'll get rid of this one.
Okay.
Because it's 3, and I don't have a matching faction anyway. So
sounds good.
Let's do that. Okay. So that's happened. This happened. Now that we'll refresh.
Yep.
Oh boy, that's a doozy. Did not go the way I would have liked. However, this is going to happen.
Okay.
Which is going to stun that.
Oh, right, because of Necros card.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So again, with the imps, it does say that when you play a Necros card, you get to stun this minion. So Necros card coming into play, that's gone.
Okay, so let's take a look here. So you may sacrifice a card in your hand or discard pile. I don't even know if there's anything in my hand or discard that's worth leaving. Unless we want to get rid of money. What's this? Although, this allows me to draw a card.
Yeah, no, that one you want to keep. That might not be worth much anymore.
Yeah, I'm
getting
thinking,
the discount, you're not really looking at purchasing anymore.
No, it's
you
like
just want to keep cycling through. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking we might just let that go.
I don't mind that.
Yeah, I think we're going to let that go. So we're going to let the spell component. So that was the one that was giving me a bit of a discount.
Yeah.
I think we're going to let that go.
So we're not that concerned. It gives her 1 value to purchase and a discount of 1 on any actions. But at this point, we're not looking to buy. We just want to cycle through Mandi's deck as quickly as possible and do as much damage as possible.
So I'm going to draw a card here for my
you
champion.
You have 2 wilds, yeah.
Oh, well, that's garbage.
That one would have been nice to get rid of.
I know. Had we known it was coming up,
But now you see your whole deck. You know that's the only one that's left
exactly.
that is a basic card. So you've got a great deck.
So this is 2 damage plus 1 for each other wild card you have in play. So it'll be another 1.
Yep.
And then 8, you may sacrifice a card in your hand or discard pile. We've already
You've done that
already. Yeah.
Okay.
And I cannot draw a card. I don't have the matching faction.
So
damage-wise, I have 2, 3, 4, plus 8, so I have 12.
2, 4, and 1, 5.
Oh yeah, 5.
Yeah, and 8 and 13. Yep.
13. Excuse me. Yes, that's right. Because of plus 1.
Yep. So 13, 4 there.
Yes. So 4 there.
And 9 here puts us down to 38.
All right, we're getting there.
We are getting there.
So these are champions. They stay in play. So technically, these should have been expended. These are going to go bye-bye. End of my turn. These come back to life.
All right, over to me.
Yep.
What do we got? There it is. Escaped.
No!
We were finally getting the ball rolling there.
And I literally had the best deck ever.
Escape. If the master's deck has been reshuffled this encounter, the master escapes.
That is garbage. So, for those of you who are still watching, he got away.
Yep.
We're done.
Oh, man. Your deck was so strong at that point. You were doing some great damage.
So this is so different than the play we had the other night.
Yeah, but
it was a struggle to get the cards. Anyway.
Yeah, we were stuck with a very expensive market for a while there. My next hand, I would have been able to do some damage because I had Fire Jam, so I'd be purchasing a lot and doing 9 damage, which is great, plus more purchase power, plus some healing power. So I would have been doing my thing, which is keeping us alive, and purchasing some more cards and damage, which isn't my thing, but I would have been able to. Oh, we're done.
That's so frustrating.
Escape. So that's the card we wanted to discard. All right. All right. Oh, that is rough.
Oh, that's so upsetting.
It felt like we actually had a roll going there. 38. I bet you could have had that done in a couple turns.
Probably.
2 or 3 turns.
Because literally my deck
that would have been enough damage.
It was all damage, a few money cards, but it was mostly damage.
Yep.
So.
Okay. So before we carry on, hypothetically, let's say we did win that. So I'm not going to read the flavor text. I'll let you figure that out on your own. But what we would have gotten, I'm just going to go to the rewards because I want to cover the the experience point for you. So I won't read flavor, treasure, and then we would get a character point that we could spend on an upgrade towards our skills, abilities, or additional health. So I will show you an example of, actually,
What do you need?
I need either of these and this deck.
Okay.
And this book. So in the book they show you, there's sort of a little skill tree that you do, real book, when you're leveling up. So going here, this is the ability skill tree. So you start with your ability at level 1. If you get that skill point, that character skill point, you can spend it on a skill to then go to 2A or 2B. So you'll have 2 options to go to, and from there it branches off further for further advancement. Or if you put it towards, instead of your skill, your ability, this is the ability tree. Now that looks a little more complex, but that's only because you start with your basic ability at level 3. So my ability, as an example, was Resurrect. Right? So it's got level 3 showing here. That's replacing the Resurrect that is in the character card. So it starts at level 3, and then you can go to 4 or 4A, so you can ignore these top 2. It's the same branching skill tree. The reason there's 1 and 2 is that if you get to the end, you could actually get a second copy of it starting at 1, which will be weaker than your starting 1, but you could start leveling that up again. And then just to give an example of how they level up. So my Bless ability was expend and spend 2. Target player gains 3, and each champion is +1 defense. If I upgrade that to Bless of Iron, it is then still expend and spend 2. Target player gains 4, and each champion gains +2 defense, which you saw I had a lot of champions going, which makes them quite strong, so I can start building up this defense, except for this guy kept just getting rid of them point blank, but you can start getting a strong defense going with champions in front of you. Or Bless of Heart, which is focus and lets you target players beyond your area even if there's minions in play. So that was one of the keywords I was mentioning, where if you have a minion in your area, you must deal with that before you can target anything beyond your area. But if you have focus, it lets you look beyond what you currently have sitting in front of you. So your 2 options are, with that point, you can upgrade your skill, you can upgrade your ability, or you could upgrade your health. So for the cleric, there's this card, and it shows +7. So my starting health, instead of being 55, would be 72. And then if it's upgraded again, it would be +14. Whereas with the mage has the card, gets an additional 5 health, and then upgraded again would be an additional 10 health. So there's various ways, and it's up to you how you want to upgrade your character. And it's nice to have that whole skill tree going. Go back here.
So Rob said winning 1 out of the 2 encounters in veteran mode is pretty good.
All right.
So we should be happy with our 1 win.
All right, we'll take that. Yeah, and yeah, it was very close in the last one that we did win, but it was the ability to discard that card before it came up that gave us. I think we needed 2 more turns
At
to
least,
actually
yeah.
get rid of the master.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So there you go. That is the start of the campaign.
Yes, we're not quite,
Yep.
just getting into it.
For
but-
Hero Realms. Yep.
So I really enjoyed it. I mean,
Yes.
I like Hero Realms to begin with. So for me, this was just like another way to have more story. And I really like the fact that you can play with up to, I think it's 5, if I'm not mistaken here.
1 to 5. It
1
can
to
be
5.
played solo as well.
Right.
Yep.
So, I mean, we've been playing with 2-player.
Yep.
But I know I was reading in the comments there, Rob said it's quite nice at 5, actually.
Yep, I
So,
could see that for sure.
Which would be really fun. I think very interesting.
And that's where you'd have
So-
to pay more attention to the adjacency or the nearby characters, because you're only nearby whoever's to your left or right.
Right.
And the master does take up a seat. You can't forget that. The master takes up a seat. So if there were players between Mandi and I going this way, I would not be adjacent to Mandi because the master would be in the way and the other players would be in the way. Yep.
Right. So definitely like the fact that you have the different modes you can play in, So if you don't want something that's as difficult to start off, you can use something slightly different. So I like that effect. I mean, we decided to go kind of like middle of the road. I'm gonna go with
a little above middle.
Just a little
Yeah, we
above
went with the
middle.
veteran. You know, we've pulled it off in the past, but like I said, as soon as we won off
I know,
screen,
you knew.
I knew on camera we're not
Wasn't
gonna
gonna
not
happen.
gonna get the win.
So I'm always about,
I don't think we were that far off though. Yes, the master still has 38
Sure.
health, but your deck was incredibly
the
strong
things
at
that
that
were
point.
coming up were gonna be
You had all of your basic ones
all
out.
the damages,
So yeah,
which is nice.
I think within 2 to 3 turns,
At
you would have
least.
had him gone. Yeah.
This is what happened. So
Yeah.
I have other cards that we didn't play with. They're promotional. So I definitely think in this game you might want to play it, even if you did get promo cards and stuff, maybe play it with the deck as it is
Yep.
before you start tossing in other types of cards, just
Yep.
to get accustomed to the flow of the game.
Mhm.
We also have boss decks. That's a completely different thing.
Yes, the boss decks. There are boss decks where you can basically have one versus many.
Right.
Somebody actually plays the master. There's I can't remember what they're called now, but there are 2 boss decks that you can use.
Right.
And somebody's playing the master essentially that you're playing against as a group. So it turns kind of like into the one versus many dungeon crawlers type
Right.
thing. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's another.
But I
way to
do
play it.
enjoy the campaign because it has the leveling up that you like in any kind of dungeon crawling type game. You can make your character stronger, whichever way you wish. But within the adventure book, there's also branching decisions. So you saw at one point we could decide, do we follow the humans or do we
Right.
follow the imps? And that plays into the replayability of the game.
Yes.
Because then you can go for different options. Like, well, okay, we went for the humans last time. Let's follow the imps and see what that brings. So you do have various variability with the different masters that you can go up against, depending on your decisions in the campaign.
Yeah, and you can play dragon versus.
So boss versus boss.
Oh,
Yeah,
or
so
like
yeah,
the
right.
two-
Those are the
yes,
two
yes,
decks,
yes,
is
the two
Dragon
decks.
and Lich. Yeah.
And Lich. Yeah,
So
sorry, I
you can
couldn't
play
remember.
boss versus boss, right?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
That's right. So this is not one that we've delved into yet, potentially one we could look at later. We
Yep.
didn't want to give away too much with people who hadn't received it, but at least giving a little bit of play so you can have an idea of how it plays out.
Yeah, I didn't want to spoil too much of the campaign, but
Right.
at the same time, to show it, we kind of have to go through it. So you've got a taste. And because of our results, you don't get to know the end of this
Yes!
one. Yeah.
Yay! We
and
did you a
that's,
favor.
That's what we meant to do.
Exactly. Wink, wink.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I mean, overall, I liked it. It's
Yep.
pretty straightforward. I
Yep.
mean, I can't say much
No,
else.
I've always enjoyed Star Realms. I enjoy Hero Realms, but I like the co-op aspect. I think a little bit more. I think I like being able to play with somebody in,
Right.
in a puzzle like this. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Yep.
definitely looking forward to keep playing, see
Yep.
what else happens. And yeah, that's about it for that. So
All right.
I think that's where we'll leave it. So I will not be here next week. I will be at PAX Unplugged in Philadelphia.
Mm-hmm.
Have you decided what you're going to be doing next week?
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. So next week, with Mandy's absence, Susan will join me at the table again, and we are going to try and teach everybody Tricarian.
Yay.
It's not an easy one to teach, but I think we can pull it off, and it is a fun one to get to the table and a pretty one to get to the table. So, yeah, hopefully people will enjoy that. Yeah.
All right, and then upon my return, we're looking at Harry Potter. Got some things planned for that.
Yes. So that would be 2 weeks.
That'll
from
be
now.
in 2 weeks, but that'll be the one that we're looking at when I come back.
Yeah.
So, so thank you, White Wizard Games, Rob and Debbie, for joining us. Thank you so
Yes,
much.
thank you for joining us.
Helped us out a little bit, so we really appreciate that. And of course, to the regular crew in there, Needs of the
Yeah.
One, McDrizzle. I feel like Ziggy Bobinator. There's a few
Nerfenstein,
others.
yeah.
Nerf and Stitch. I don't
Yep.
think she showed up.
No?
This
Okay.
chat. No.
Okay.
So, but thank you to all who joined us, and sorry for all the confusion with the Twitch. We'll be back to normal scheduling next week.
Yes, back to Dice Tower YouTube channel next week.
If
Yep.
you have any questions, you can send us an email at MichaelandMandiPlay@gmail.com.
Yes.
And like I said, that's, even if you just have a request or just want to say something nice, that's okay too. And I think that's it.
Yeah.
All right. So thanks
Sounds good.
everyone to joining us.
Thank you
and
very much.
we'll, I guess Michael and Susan will see you.
I'll be here next week.
Yes, next week, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Twitch and on the Dice Tower on YouTube.
Yep.
All right.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.